Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make still a Brainrot. This is part 6. So in part 6, I got some great things that I know you guys would be excited for. First things first, I fixed a race condition for buying NPCs. If you don't know what a race condition is, it's pretty much where two things. It's a thing with programming where pretty much two things um happen at the same time can cause issues. Like if, like for example, two people try to withdraw money from a bank account at the same time, like from the same account and stuff at the same time. And so I fixed the race condition for like if two players have to buy the NPC at the same time and stuff. Someone reported to me that it would like take away the money for both players, but it would only give like one player the actual NPC. So I fixed it. So now you won't be able to, so that like once one person already has bought it, then it won't, another player won't be able to do the same. I changed the NPC. I spelled that wrong. And or no, I said that wrong. NPC. I updated the price display to work just like the text display, where it rounds, and it's like, oh, instead of 1,000, it'll say 1.0K. Instead of like having a million and having six zeros. I think that, yeah, six zeros. Wait, I might be stupid. No, yeah, six zeros and stuff. It'll just say, 1.0, M and stuff. So I did that. I fixed a major bug. I know a lot of people have complained about this since probably I started the series and stuff. If so, I realized how this problem works because it wasn't affecting me. So if you had, let's say, bases that were far away, like if you have a lot of bases, or if just generally speaking your base was far away from the carpet where the NPCs are, and you bought an NPC, it would try to walk to the spawner. But however, move to by itself does not, without using the proper pathfinding service, it doesn't really, it's not that good at doing long distance, like complex ways. Like it's easy on the track because it's just, it's just walking forward a few steps until it reach, like it's just going in a straight line. This is much more complex movement and stuff. So yeah, if you're dealing with the issue where NPCs were like, they were like stopping halfway or just teleporting midway or whatever, like we're trying to walk to your base and whatnot, then yeah, don't worry, I fixed that and stuff. I just rewrote the whole thing with pathfinding service and stuff. I fixed NPCs, so obviously there were multiple bugs with NPCs, with the stealing system and stuff. I fixed a lot of those. I think majority of them, I fixed. So shout out to these two people down here. They pointed out the bugs from that particular video and stuff. I mean, there are other people who also pointed out the same video. These just so happened to be the first comments I saw, and I took screenshots of them to fix the bugs. So yeah. Um Let me see, I'm trying to think. Okay, so then the next thing we have, so I fixed NPCs being able to steal multiple NPCs at one time. So like if you stole one and you try to steal another one, you can't. It'll only let you steal one at a time. Buying NPCs while stealing one, like let's say you try to go buy an NPC from the carpet while you were in possession of a stolen one and stuff. And then fixed players being able to reset while stealing. I made it so that I just disabled the reset character button and stuff once you try to steal an NPC and stuff. Once you have successfully stolen to the NPC, I've made it so that you're able to reset your character again. If a player leaves while they're stealing and stuff, I made it so that it'll automatically be returned to the player's base, who owns it, base. And then I added something that I know you guys will love, the bat defense system, which is, the baseball bat where you can knock players and stuff, where you can just hit them, as well as prevent them from stealing your NPC by, like you can intervene now instead by hitting them with the bat. And then I'm also planning to mention sound effects because a lot of people have asked about this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay. Do I want to do this first or okay? I'm gonna do this first. I'm gonna mention the thing about sound effects. This has nothing to do with the actual, like, I'm not actually changing anything. So if you guys want to skip this part, you don't you can. This is for people who are interested in doing like playing sound effects or certain things, because I've had multiple people ask me about this. So the way sound effects works, right? You get it from the toolbox and whatnot, just like with animations and stuff. So what you can do is you can insert a sound into the sound service itself. Just be aware that if you do play a sound that's currently parented to the sound service, what will happen is it will play for the entire server to hear. If you want to play a sound to where only the player can hear, you would want to insert the sound into, you know, the local scripts and stuff, right? Or the tool, which is what I did here actually, and I'll get to that and stuff, right? So once you have your sound, right? Once you have your sound, what you pretty much want to do is you want to reference the sound, right? So let's say, again, you don't have to do this. I'm just demonstrating because a lot of people have asked me this. So let's say I need to reference the sound, right? And now keep in mind, right? Just because you enter the sound value, you need a sound ID, just like an animation. You need a sound ID, so make sure you have one, right? So if I want to get my sound, I'm just going to say sound is equal to, then I'm going to reference it. So I'm going to say script.sound, right? Once I have said sound, then all I have to do is just reference the sound variable and then just colon play. It's just like an animation. So yeah, minus the loading part and stuff. So yeah, so that's just how you play sounds. And then you can also stop sounds the same way. So yeah, because a lot of people have been asking me about that. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to the actual content. Okay, so let's head on over. So before we actually get into the scripting, I want to go ahead and cover the bat and animation stuff. Okay, so this is the bat, right? I will drag this over to workspace to show you guys. So this is what it looks like. It's a regular baseball bat. I got the model from the toolbox and stuff. I did customize it and stuff, so I do want to explain it. So literally go to the toolbox, search for a bat. I got a bat. I literally just got the first bat I saw, this bat, right? So to explain how I made it like this, what I did was I simply ungrouped it and stuff, right? So I just took the parts that I needed out of it, the actual parts out of the model, just parented them to the workspace. I deleted that model. I didn't need it anymore. Then I inserted a tool into the workspace. So boom, inserted a tool. I renamed that tool to bat. I then dragged the two parts inside of the bat tool, right? Then you need to, very important, make sure all of the parts of your bat, make sure that they are not anchored. Make sure none of the parts are anchored, and then you need to make sure they're welded together, right? And make sure it's a weld constraint, not a weld. So we're just gonna say part 0 is equals handle, then part 1 is to the bat. Now it's welded together, right? And then that's all you should have to do to be able to, spawn in with the bat. Then there were three things I added. So yeah, so then once you're done with the bat, you can just go ahead and drag that down and place it inside a starter pack so that the player spawns in with it. So there are two things. I have the hit and twing animate. I'm sorry, not animation. Sound effects. Again, I get all my stuff from the toolbox. You can easily get that from the toolbox, and then once you get them, just drag them inside of your bat. The reason for that is because you want these sounds to play locally. Like you only want like the players nearby to hear the sounds, right? So those two, then I got a bat swing animation. Again, I got it from the toolbox. Once you get that, all you gotta do is just click the plus icon, insert an animation, rename it to bat swing animation, and then put in your animation ID. You cannot use mine, you have to use your own, or one you find, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so you just want to put all this inside of the bat tool. Then once you're done, drag the tool over to starter pack. Very simple. And then I also have one more animation, the fall animation. This is like, my ragdoll kind of animation where like when you get hit with the bat, you fall down to the ground and stuff. Again, just plus icon, animation, name it to fall animation, and then just insert your animation ID and stuff. I got this animation from the toolbox just like I do with all my animations and stuff, right? This is the animation that's going to play whenever the player gets hit by the bats. And yeah, okay, we are good to go. All right, moving on, we can now get into the scripting changes, okay? So let's go ahead and open up our local scripts. And then we're going to scroll up right here to our on-client event stuff. We're going to go down, you're going to go after the notification. So we're going to go after this end. You're going to say else if. Event type is equal to, in quotation marks, you're going to put disable reset, right? Which enter, as you can tell, this is disabling the reset button. So you're just simply going to create a variable for the starter GUI. So it's equal to game, get service, starter GUI, and then you're going to say starter GUI. You're going to say set core, quotation marks, very important. Make sure you type this exactly as I'm typing it, or else this will not work. So reset, capital R, button, capital B, callback, capital C, then comma after the quotation marks, and then you're just going to set it to false so that it's disabled, and then you're literally just going to do the complete opposite. So you can really just copy that. So select everything we just did, copy, paste, and then you're just going to change this from disable reset to enable reset, right? Let me actually put a space in between it, right? And then you're simply just going to change the false to true, right? And then boom, we've added that. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to set up the function for using the bat. So since the bat is a tool inside starter pack, it'll automatically be added. So we can just say create a variable for the bat. We're just going to say is equal to player.backpack wait for child. Then the bat itself. Then you will say bat.activated. This is whenever, so this function will be triggered whenever the player left clicks their mouse while the bat is equipped. So connect function, close parentheses. Enter, you will then say if not player dot cooldown folder. This is a folder we're going to create. Find first child. In quotation marks, you're going to put bat m1 cooldown. Enter. Pretty much what the cooldown folder, if it has its value, then that means you're currently on cooldown for the bad M1s. And if not, then it'll know you're not on cooldown and stuff. So keep in mind, this is just a check on the local script and stuff, just to ensure, like, just to save resources, so it doesn't fire the remote event every time, as well as it doesn't play the animation and stuff, despite you being on cooldown. So even if an exporter was to bypass this and still fire the remote event, I'm obviously going to verify this on the server side to ensure that they're not on cooldown and stuff. I'm going to check both client side and server side. This check on the client side is just simply to save resources and stuff. So then you're going to fire the remote event. You're going to say core event fire server in quotation marks. You're going to put combat, comma. I imagine I'll be making other combat stuff, so I'm just gonna. So we're gonna then specify the combat type. So we're gonna say bat M1 because I don't know if maybe your game will have punches maybe. So I just want to specify bat M1. So then we'll create a variable. We'll then set up the animation track for our swing, right? So local swing at is equal to player dot character dot humanoid dot animator. You're going to say load animation, right? Then you're going to say bat. Again, the animation should be inside of the bat swing animation, and then you're going to play said swing animation, right? So boom, we're done with the local script. Then we can move on to the server script, right? Lots of changes to be made here. First things first, you're going to go after the physics service, and then you're going to create a new variable, the pathfinding service. So you're going to say PFS, so the abbreviation. We're going to say game get service pathfinding service, right? Then I'm going to scroll down to our leader stats, which is over here, and then you can really let's see, you can just copy and paste this, the cache and or actually let me do this first actually. So you copy and paste the own unit, so just copy, go after, enter, paste, and then just rename this to cooldown folder. So cooldown folder. Then I just select it, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, parent it to the player, boom. Then now you can just copy and paste the cache value. So select it, oh my bad. So select it, Control C, Control V, and then just rename this simply to status. This is going to be the status of the player to keep track of whether or not they're currently stealing or not. So then Control C, Control V, oh my bad, Control V, Control V. This is going to be a string value. By default, it should, oh sorry, that's the wrong thing actually. So it should be status, and then the value by default should be an empty string. Empty string means they're currently available, like they can do anything pretty much. And then make sure this is obviously parented to the player, right? Boom. So we're done with that. Then we come down here. Obviously, since we're introducing combat and stuff, we need hitboxes. So you're gonna go after the for loop right here that updates the player's collisions inside of the character added function, and we're going to create our hitbox. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a variable called hitbox is equal to instance.new in quotation marks part, right? You're gonna say hitbox.name is equal to hitbox. Enter. Then you're gonna say hitbox.anchored is equal to false. Hitbox.canCollide is equal to false. Hitbox.massless is equal to true. Hitbox.transparency is equal to 1, unless you're testing, you can change that and stuff. Hitbox.size, you can change this as well. Vector3.new, 5,6, 2.5. Enter, then hitbox.color, this is for testing, is equal to color3.new, 1, 0, so a nice red. Then you're going to set it C-frame, hitbox pivot 2, and then you're going to say character.humanoid root part.C-frame, right? Then after that, you're going to go ahead and set up the weld constraint to weld the hitbox to the player's character. So weld constraint will be equal to instance.new weld constraint. Then you will say weld constraint part 0 is equal to the hitbox. Then weld constraint part 1 is equal to the character's humanoid root part. Then you will say hitbox.parent is equal to character.humanoid root part, and then weld constraint.parent is equal to hitbox, right? Then you're going to go down to the removing function right under it. You're just going to go after all of this. So I want to say, yeah, you're going to just skip those two ends. And then the last thing you're going to do is just update the player status when they're leaving. So player.status.value is going to be equal to left. And then this is for this addresses the fixed players leaving while singing, right? Then after that, you're going to go down. You're looking for the Oh, my bad, actually. My bad, I went past it. Okay, so after the removing function, we're then going to add this. So before the NPC folder, so before the, actually, on second thought, no, actually, no, this should actually be, actually, where should this be? I'm wondering, actually. Um, I'll bring it down right here because honestly, I may need the NPC folder. I may need the NPC folder to be completely honest. So I'm gonna bring so I'm gonna go after the choose random NPC function. So in between choose random NPC and before NPC move function, right? We're going to say core event dot on server events connect function in parentheses put PLR which is short for the player, comma event type, comma arg1 which is short for argument number 1, enter. Then you're going to create a variable for your player's character, or well, the character, player character. Then you'll say if event type is equal to combat, enter, then specify the combat type. So combat type is equal to arg1, right? Then you will say if combat type is equal to bat M1, enter. We need to, of course, first check to ensure that they're not currently on cooldown. So we'll say if player.cooldown folder find first child bat M1 cooldown, right? Enter. If we find it, then return. Then after that, that means obviously they're not on cooldown if they made it this far, then you'll create the value. So you say bat m1 cooldown is equal to instance.new. This is going to be a number value. This is very important. You're gonna say bat m1 cooldown dot name is equal to bat m1 cooldown. Enter. Then you're gonna say bat m1 cooldown. That value very important. So the value you assign it is going to be the cooldown duration. So whatever value you put is how long the bat. So however long you want your M1 cooldowns to be. I'm gonna say 1.5 seconds. The animation itself is like 1 second. So I'm gonna say the cooldown is 1.5 seconds until the player can swing again and stuff with the bat. But you guys can set this to whatever you want it to be. Then bat M1 cooldown. Make sure you parent it to the player's cooldown folder, right? Then after that, you're gonna say character dot bat dot swing play just to specify so character dot then the bat itself, then you're gonna play the swing sound effect, right? Then from there we're gonna go ahead and set up the raycasting and stuff so we can detect if you make contact with another player. So you're gonna create a variable for the start position. Start position is equal to character dot humanoid root parts dot hitbox dot position. Then create a variable for the direction, which is equal to character dot humanoid root part. Oh my bad, I accidentally put two T's right there. Humanoid root part dot hitbox dot cframe dot look vector. Right. Then create a variable for the raycast params. So raycast params dot new. Then raycast params dot filter type is equal to enum dot raycast filter type dot exclude. Then you will say raycast params dot filter descendants instances is equal to special brackets character get descendants, right? Then after that, you're then going to create a variable for the ray. So ray is equal to workspace raycast, right? And then you're going to say start position, then direction times 5, comma, and then you're going to, put the raycast params. Then after that, you're going to say if ray, so if the ray was, fired successfully, and ray.instance, which means to make contact with an instance. And of course, ray.instance.name is equal to hitbox, enter, right? Then you're going to create a variable for the enemy character, which is equal to ray.instance.parent.parents. Then create a variable for the enemy player as well. So enemy players is simply equal to game.players find first child enemy character.name, right? Then I just thought about something. Am I typing too fast? Y'all let me know in the comments if I type too fast for y'all and stuff. I try not to take too long. So I don't know if I've been typing too fast for y'all to keep up with, but y'all let me know in the comments. Anyway, So from there, then we're going to say enemy player dot status dot value. You're gonna set this equal to stunned, right? So you're gonna say stunned, then you're gonna say character dot bat dot hit. So this is the sound effect. You're gonna say play. You're gonna play the sound effect, right? Then set up the enemy's animation check, which is just them falling. So enemy AT is equal to enemy character dot humanoid dot animator. Then you're just gonna say load animation. In parentheses, you're gonna say script dot fall animation. Then you're gonna say enemy AT. You're gonna say play. Right, you're gonna play the enemy animation track. Then you're gonna make it so the enemy can't move, of course, right? Because they're supposed to be stunned. So you're gonna say humanoid dot walk speed is set to 0. Enemy character dot humanoid dot jump power is also set to 0. Then you're going to say task dot wait. So I'm going to wait 0.5 seconds for, okay, so you may have to change this, right? So for my specific animation, like the falling animation, I'm going to wait 0.5 seconds before I freeze the animation so that like it appears as if the player is just like laying on the ground. You may have to change that wait time. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say enemy AT, and then I'm going to adjust the speed to 0, which pretty much is going to freeze the animation. And that's going to make it look the enemy's just laying on the ground. Then task that wait, again, you can change this to whatever you want. I'm going to wait for 2 seconds, and then the player can get back up. So then we'll say enemy AT, adjust speed, we'll set it to normal, set it to 1, so that it continues playing. The enemy will get up. Then you'll set everything back to normal. Enemy character humanoid walk speed, set this to whatever your game default is. I'm just going to say 16, and then I'm gonna say jump power is 51, but yeah, that's up to you guys to set it to whatever you want. Then of course update their status. So enemy player dot status dot value is equal to an empty string, right? Then you're gonna skip that end. You're gonna skip one end. Then you're gonna set the task dot delay. You're gonna say task dot delay, right? You're gonna say bat m1 cooldown. Bat m1 cooldown dot value. This is why I said it's important to set the value accordingly. This is how long the cooldown is gonna last. Then you set up a function. So close parentheses, enter. Then you will say player.cooldown folder, right? Then you're just gonna say regular brackets, quotation marks, bat m1 cooldown, just gonna destroy, set value and stuff once the cooldown is up, and then boom. Just like that, we have set up the hitboxes as well as the M1s. Okay. Now moving on to the new function. Okay. So I am going to create this function. I'm going to go right before NPC move. So right after that function, we're going to create a new function. It's called toDestination. That's what we're going to call it. It's from one of my old videos from almost 3 years ago. So we're going to say local function. We're going to say toDestination. This is toDestination. Right, in parentheses, we're going to have the NPC, the assigned platform, the player, as well as the specific NPC folder. So lots of stuff. Then enter, right? So this requires us to have to like honestly it's very what's the word for? It's kind of complex because it's like I'm taking code that we used before, but at the same time it's really a lot of old stuff. So it's like it's kind of complex to be completely honest. So like I said, oh, by the way, if you're confused, this is the function that's now going to run whenever you buy an NPC and stuff, so that it does proper pathfinding, so that it can navigate complex paths and long distances and stuff. So yeah, but we're just gonna have to type this from scratch, and I'll just copy and paste what I can to help save some time. But yeah, first things first, we need to create our path. So path is equal to PFS. You guys are about to see why I wanted to avoid doing this because it's a lot more work. You're then gonna say create path, right? Then you're going to create a variable for waypoint. I want to be very specific, right? This variable, I'm going to clarify, this variable has nothing to do with the checkpoints and stuff. That even though they serve a similar purpose, these two are not the same thing. I just want to clarify that, right? So waypoints is you're going to set that equal to nil. Then you're going to set next waypoint and make sure your spelling is very accurate. It's just like mine. Next waypoint is set to 1 by default because we're going to start at 1. Right, then our reached destination function, which is set to nil, and then lastly blocked destination, which is set to nil. Right, then after that you're going to set up a protected call. You're going to say local success, comma, error message is equal to peakout function, close parentheses, enter. Then you're going to say path. Right, you're going to say compute async, and then you're going to say npc dot humanoid root part dot position, so pretty much the distances. So because you're going from the humanoid's current position to the assigned platform. So you're gonna say assigned platform dot parent dot spawner dot position, right? Then after all of that, you're then gonna say if success, right? And path dot status is equal to enum dot path status dot success. Enter. Then you will say waypoints plural is equal to path get waypoints, right? Then you will say blocked destination is equal to path dot blocked connect function. Then in parentheses you're going to put blocked waypoint. Enter. Then you're going to say if blocked waypoint is greater than or equal to next waypoint, enter. Then blocked destination, disconnect. And then you're going to just call, so you're just going to call to destination again and stuff. But you don't have to worry about sending this stuff over. Pretty much using recursion, so you don't have to worry. Y'all probably don't know what that is. But anyway, so you guys don't have to worry about sending this stuff over again. It'll work just fine. But yeah, so from there, then we'll skip these two, right? Oh wait, actually no, I don't think it ever actually. Actually, now that I think about it, it never actually. Wait, no, I just lied to y'all. I'm sorry, my bad. Actually, I just lied to y'all. Never mind. Send over all this stuff. I just realized the only reason why I didn't. Yeah, the only reason why I didn't do that was because it was the path was never blocked. Okay, yeah. So just send over everything. Just yeah, everything in the same exact order. So yeah, my bad. But anyway, okay. So then you're just gonna skip the two ends. You're then gonna play the animation track. So or you're gonna set it up first actually. So you're gonna say this is the walking animation by the way. So NPC humanoid dot animator load animation script or not sorry not script NPC dot walk animation. Then you're gonna wait. You have to wait, or else it's going to it'll glitch if you try to play an animation too quickly. But like before they start walking, it'll make it so that the animation doesn't play and stuff. Or like it'll be playing, it'll be considered playing, but it's not actually playing. You won't be able to see it. So then you just say task dot delay. Then you just wait 0.3 seconds. Function close parentheses enter. So you may have to adjust this number. You may be able to lower it or increase the wait time and stuff. If their walk animation is not playing, then just make it wait longer and stuff, right? Just increase the duration or the time, I should say. Then you'll play the animation track. Go outside of that, right? Then we will say if not reached destination, enter, right? Then we'll say reached destination is equal to npc dot humanoid dot move to finished connect function. In parentheses, you're going to put reached, enter, right? You're gonna say if reached. My bad. You're gonna say if reached and next waypoint is less than the total number of waypoints, right? Enter, then you'll say next waypoint plus equal 1. Then you'll say npc dot humanoid move to, right? Then you're gonna say waypoints regular bracket. Then you're gonna say next waypoint go in between. Then you're gonna say dot position, right? Then after that, press enter, and then you're gonna say else if next waypoint is equal to the total number of waypoints, which means that the NPC has made it there. Enter, and then here's where we can copy and paste. So we're gonna scroll down to the by NPC function. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So the by NPC. So yeah, so all of this stuff after the task.wait, this is all the stuff we need. So you're just gonna copy all that. So just copy that, and then we'll come back to this. So just copy that, go back up right here. Then you're just gonna paste that. There were definitely some changes I made. Hold on. So we stopped the animation track, pivot it, set the collector, update the NPC status. So I changed this to like 0.2 seconds and stuff. Again, this is one of the things you have to play around with and stuff. If your NPC is having problems or like it's getting frozen midair, which pretty much means its human and root part is getting anchored too early, then increase this wait duration and stuff like the delay time. If it's like moving weirdly or whatnot, like it's like not in the proper spot and it's like moved or whatnot, then lower the number. So just mess around with the number until it works. But yeah. So anchor that. We set it to steel. fire client. So okay, so here's the stuff we needed to change. Okay, got it. So you can delete this move function part right here because that was, that's from the old function, right? So you're gonna go here and then you're gonna say reach destination. You're gonna say disconnect. Then you're also gonna say block to destination, disconnect. You're just gonna disconnect all those functions, right? And then we're gonna call the generate. I'm so I am so stupid. I am so stupid, guys. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to create this function after generating money. Okay, so here's what we're gonna have to do. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to move this function because it was actually supposed to be lowered. So I'm gonna pray you guys are capable of doing this because it's really not too difficult. But you're just gonna select everything we just did. So select the entire function, right? The two destination functions. Select the entire thing. Make sure you have the entire thing selected, right? Right. Do that. Copy. I'm sorry. Damn, I can't talk. Cut or copy, then delete, whichever one. Then go after the generate money function. So before the buy NPC function, then press enter and then paste. Right, there we go. So now generate money should work. Yep, there we go. Okay. So then we're gonna skip three ends, right? Then we're just simply gonna say npc.humanoid, move to, and then same thing. Waypoints, regular bracket, next waypoint, dot position. Now this is proper pathfinding and stuff. This is how actual pathfinding works and stuff. A much better way than what I was doing before. I was doing the simple way because this way is a lot more work, as you guys can clearly see. But it's a lot cooler and much more efficient and stuff. A lot less issues and stuff. I may honestly have to switch the way the NPCs walk across the carpet to this as well, because I know there are people that are complaining about issues when like ping gets high and stuff like that. So yeah, and then let me just make sure we're good. Okay, we're good. But yeah, so we are done with updating that function. Now we can move on to the buy NPC function. So oh, did I get that? Oh, yeah, okay. So I did add something here. So you guys see the if right here. So just click the arrow right next to the if statement. Go right before the second to last end. Press enter, right? Then go up, and then you're simply just going to say else. Enter. Then you'll say npc dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt dot enabled is set to true. The reason for this is so that, like I said, I made it so that like two players can't, like, to avoid issues where like two players try to purchase the same NPC at the same time and stuff. I made it so the proximity prompt is disabled whenever a player buys it and stuff. So this is so that, like, let's say they try to buy it, right? It triggers the function. They try to buy it, but they don't have enough money. Then because buy yeah, if they don't have enough money, then it'll just re-enable, right? Oh, that reminds me, actually, I also need to put it right here. So yeah, then you could just really just copy and paste that. So copy that and then go right here, enter, paste that right here. Because also, let's say if the player has the money but they don't have an open platform, then also you need to re-enable it. But yeah, okay. So as for the changes here, I'm pretty sure all this stuff remained. Like I said, aside from that, pretty sure all this stuff remained the same. Yeah, that, yep. The leader stats, the unit value, yep, the unit value, and then we just go down here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so you're just gonna click this arrow right here. You're just gonna just grab everything from the move to. So grab everything from the move to down to the move function, and then just backspace, delete that. Then after the unit, all you're gonna do is now just call the two destination function. Then you're just gonna send everything over: the NPC, the assigned platform, the player, as well as the specific NPC folder, and then boom. So yeah, that's how that works now. Then we're gonna go down some new changes to the steal NPC function and stuff. This is to fix all these bugs and stuff. Yeah. So everything we just did, we just fixed this, as well as this. Now it's time to add all these fixes. Okay. So for the steal NPC, you're gonna go after so you're gonna go, wait, what am I looking for? Oh, right here. So you're gonna go after we create the stealing character variable. You're then gonna fire the remote event. You're gonna say core event fire client singular. So that make sure you do the stealing player. So stealing player, then comma quotation mark disable reset. So it disables the reset button so they can't reset. Right. Then after that, you're gonna create two variables. So first things first will be the spawn function variable set to no, and then secondly will be the status function, which will be set to no. right? So then press enter, right? And then we're going to set this up. So I believe, hold on, because it's after, yeah, okay, it's after. So we're going to set this function up, okay. So just press enter some more just to give ourselves some space because we're going to set up a function. So we're going to say status function is equal to stealing player dot status dot value, or sorry, not dot value, dot changed connect function close parentheses enter. So this is to account for, let's say if the player is stealing an NPC and they, like I said mentioned in the beginning of the video, they leave the game, or they get attacked, they get hit by the bat, so that the NPC is supposed to return. So we're gonna say if, first thing first, we're gonna say if stealing player dot status that value is equal to left, meaning they left the game, enter, then you will just update the stuff accordingly. So so I know I copy and pasted. I might just have to do this manually for the first part. So yeah, we're gonna say npc dot status. We're gonna turn this back to normal. We're gonna say dot value is equal to active, so it's back to making money. npc dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt dot enabled is set to true. You're then going to say npc dot humanoid root part dot weld. That's where the weld was, so destroy. So that's no longer welded to the player. And you're going to create a variable for the old platform, just like we did later down below. Old platform is equal to npc dot parent, so then you can return it to where it belongs. npc dot parent, then you're going to pivot it. So we're just going to go down. Just going to go down to the nearest pivot. So this, yeah, that's the same. Okay. I'm just going to copy that, go up here, press enter, then I'm just going to paste that. Make sure, very important, make sure you change assign platform to old platform, because old platform is supposed to be where it's supposed to get, like, that's where, because we're returning it. So that's essentially what we're doing. We are returning it, right? Then you're going to go back down. I'm looking for the thingamajig. Okay, scroll down, keep going, and I think, yeah, right here, okay. Yep, so returning the NPC's text to normal, like the stuff above their head. So we're just gonna, oh, this as well. So all this stuff right here. So you can really just copy this part, go back up, and then I'm just gonna press enter, give it some space, and I'm just gonna paste it. So this sets all the text back, so it changes it from stolen back to its name, then with the proper colors, because this is, yeah, the normal white color, and then you're making it so that all the UI above their head is visible. Then you're going to check to make sure they have the spawn function, because let's say they didn't make it down that far, because if they're inside of this function, obviously the status function exists, but let's say they didn't make it down this far, then you want to check to make sure it exists, and if it does, then you'll just disconnect it. So spawn function disconnect, but the status function should already exist, so you can just say disconnect, right? Then insert. Then after that, you're then going to call the generate money function, generate money, so that it can get back to generating money. So npc folder, regular bracket, npc name dot value, go after that, comma, set over the npc, and then the, again, old platform, not the assigned platform. Then you're going to throw an else if. So else if, now this time we're going to say string player dot status dot value is equal to stunned. So this is what happens. So stunned, enter. So this is what happens after after the NPC, after the player is like attacked or whatnot. So then from that point, if I recall correctly, I literally think I just copy and paste this. Now that I think about it, actually, wouldn't it just make more sense to just say or? Because yeah, wait, hold on. I have thought about it. If they're doing they're doing the literal exact same thing. Those three, the old platform, the NPC, the head, and all. Yeah, actually, yeah, yeah. So let's save some time. Actually, sorry, never mind. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this instead, because I couldn't just do status dot change, because your status could change anything else. So we'll say this or stealing player. Yeah, just go up here and just say, yeah. This saves some time, so we don't have to just copy and paste that. So we'll just say or stunned. So either one works. Yeah, either one works and stuff. Okay. That works, because it literally does the same exact, it literally does the same exact thing, so that just doesn't make sense. Then you're gonna go down to find the spawn function we created right here. Remember, we created that up there now, so you're just gonna delete this line right here. So delete that, right? Then you're gonna scroll down, so after it's anchored and we update the status, you're gonna add two new things here. You're then going to say stealing player dot status. You're gonna update the player status dot values equal to an empty string. Then after that, make it so that they can reset. So fire clients, stealing player, comma, and then you're just gonna say enable reset quotation marks. So enable reset, right? And the generate money, that's the same. And then after the spawn function, you'll just say status function. You'll also disconnect that. So disconnect. And yeah. Then moving on, we have our spawn NPC. Now this change, I had to make a. This is very minor changes, to be completely honest. Yeah, this is very minor changes. So first thing first, we have the, like I said, the text formatting for the price display. Since a few people were asking me for that. So you're just simply gonna go after this. I want to say this first line. I think. Yeah. Wait, hold on. This specific NPC. Yeah. Okay. So just press enter. So you're just gonna create some space. So you're just gonna change this. So you're gonna change this to a variable. So you could just really delete this part right here. Right. You're gonna change this to a variable. So you're just gonna say local. Then you're gonna say formatted price is equal to, and then you're just gonna remove the money symbol. You can say, and then you're just gonna leave it at specific NPC folder dot price dot value. Then go to the local script, just copy and paste this if statement right here, right? But actually, we only need the if and else if part. So just copy this. So just copy this part, right? So paste that, right? And then we're gonna need an end. So press enter, and then you're just gonna throw an end right there, right? So then you're just going to just Control C, Control V, replace amounts with formatted price, Control V, right? So, and then you're just going to change, and then you're going to change this, Control V, Control V, right? So it just formats it as need be. So formatted price is greater than that, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and then you're going to go down here. And then you can just copy and paste one of these lines, Control C, Control V, and then you're just going to change this to price textable dot text is equal to, and then you're just going to put the money symbol, so quotation marks, money symbol, dot dot dot, formatted price, and then boom. So now it'll format the price properly for you guys. Then you're just gonna go down to the prompt function. So right here, you're gonna go right here. So let's say they're trying to buy an NPC from the carpet. You need to, of course, make sure that their status. So player.status.value is set to an empty string, right? This addresses all those issues, stuff, right? And then if they are able to buy it, then you would then say NPC dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt dot enabled. We set to false so that two players can't try to buy the same NPC at the same time. Then after that, the sell NPC part. So right here, so where we have the else, you're just simply just gonna say else if. So you're just gonna add an if, right? You're gonna say else if NPC dot status dot value is equal to an empty string again, and then just put the word then, right? So boom. After that, you're then just gonna go down where we have the if assigned platform is equal to nil, then return. You're just gonna go after that. So before the steal NPC, so before calling the steal NPC function, then you're just gonna say player dot status. The value is now officially equal to stealing, right? Right before we call the steal NPC function. Then yeah, okay. So yeah, okay, guys, that should be everything. And then that, wow, that took a lot longer than I thought. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish and let's go ahead and test our changes. Okay, so as always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, you guys can become either a channel member or a Discord subscriber. Link to either one of those options can be found in the description. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to the server side real quick. And then I'm gonna change the price to like just a very big number. We'll just leave it at that. Then I'm just gonna wait for, there we go, 20 million. So there we go. Now it yeah, now it is it properly. So just to ensure, oh, I just realized I don't have 20 million. I don't have 20 million. Okay. So let me give myself some money now. So like I said, now what should happen is, if like regardless of where your base is, if your base is like far away and stuff, the NPC should now be able to walk there without any issues and stuff, regardless of the distance. So if I buy the NPC, there we go. It's now walking to my base and stuff. As you can see, it, like, you're not gonna notice a change Well, except it like, floating in the air. But you're not gonna notice a change in terms of like, actually, no, it's actually kind of cool once it gets like hovering. But anyway, you're not gonna notice a change with like them walking. Like it's pretty much gonna be the same. Maybe like a minor animation. What the hell? Why the hell did he stop? Why did he stop? Oh, somebody brought this up to me. This is what somebody was telling me about this. Oh, this is what they meant. Oh, I see. Okay. Huh. That is very strange. Okay. That is very strange. That is very strange. I don't know why there's, yeah, I don't know why they're, yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna have to switch to the advanced pathfinding as well because let me just, I'm probably honestly gonna have to switch to the advanced pathfinding as well for this. Because the ping isn't even high, right? Yeah, no, I have 40 ping. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea why they're doing that, but I'm probably just gonna switch to pathfinding and stuff to avoid that because to be honest, people have mentioned this, but I have never seen this before. And for some reason, it only happens to the default ones. That's so strange. Well, anyway, yeah. So as you guys can see, we buy that. So if I go test real quick, right? I'm gonna just test this real quick. I'm not even gonna test every scenario to be completely honest with you. I'm not even gonna test every scenario. I'm just want to ensure that stealing it just works. Okay. So first things first, right? If I take the bat, so it's gonna take ages, but just give me a second. So if I walk over to player 2, right? I take out the bat. Boom. Right. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, he like falls, he hits the ground. Yeah, falls, hits the um. What the hell? Yo, where's the? Why does he get up? Like, did I forget to put the? Hold on. I think I forgot to put the weight because he's not supposed to get up that quickly. No? Yeah, the weight's supposed to wait 2 seconds. Adjust speed 0.5 seconds. Set the speed to 0. Wait 2 seconds, and then yeah. Okay, now I'm confused. Unless it's just the animation, because hold on, it might just be the animation. Hold on, guys. Status, stunned. Oh, okay. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay, well, anyway. So stunned is the NPC, right? So I'm gonna switch to the server side. I'm going to give player 1 some money. I'm gonna have him go buy. I'm gonna have him go buy an NPC. Then we're gonna have him. We're gonna switch. So if I go buy one real quick, buy. Okay. And the okay. What the hell? What the hell is going on right now? What is going on? I'm gonna have to fix that in the next video. But anyway, so yeah. So now if I try to go steal an NPC, right? If I walk over, I really do not know what the hell is going on with that. I'm gonna have to look into that. But anyway, so if I steal the NPC, right? And for some reason I'm unable to steal the NPC. Okay. What's going on? Player 2 status is yeah, it's cleared. Huh. But it's not letting me steal the NPC, and it's not giving me. What the hell is going on right now? Huh. This is very weird, I'm not gonna lie. It's very weird. Um, if oh my bad, my bad. Oh, I just realized. Oh, I put my I'm so stupid. I put NPC status, my bad guys. It's supposed to say player status. Put NPC status. Okay. Yeah, okay, hold on. So I'm gonna clean up and okay, my bad guys. That's supposed to say player, not NPC status. I do want to test this. I'm not too worried about the NPCs like freezing and stuff because I know what to do to fix that. Well, I think I'm just gonna switch the entire movement process and stuff. I'm just gonna switch the entire movement thing in the next video. I'm just gonna overhaul that because clearly that's not sustainable for a long time use, especially with multiple units. This is not sustainable. So I'm just gonna change that. Okay, so let's buy an NPC, right? Why the hell do they get Oh, okay. Oh, I guess he just changed his mind. Okay. Alright, so now I'm gonna try to steal the NPC. See, I love how like none of this happened before I recorded the video. Like I swear to y'all, when I was testing this, none of this happened. But then all of a sudden, okay, so I can steal the NPC, right? Switch to the other player, grab the bat, watch what happens. Okay, there we go. Then NPC then returns to my custody. So boom, right? So yeah, and then everything else will work just fine. And then he's back to making money. So yeah, like I said, I will look into fixing this. I don't know why the hell it's doing that. The good thing is it's consistent, which means I should be able to fix it and stuff. But yeah, so I will. Don't worry, I'll fix it by the next video and stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna remake the whole system for them walking down the carpet because clearly this is not working out. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, let me know any bugs you find. I will address them. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Thank you for watching. Yo, what's good with y'all? On today's video, I got how to make Still a Brainrot part 7 and stuff. So a lot of y'all were a lot of comments and stuff. It's actually very funny. At the end of part 6, that video where I was experiencing the movement issue where I essentially broke. I didn't really break anything. What happened was I put the wrong variable's name. I put NPC instead of NPC model, pretty much. That's what caused them to like stop working and stuff. And a lot of people they kept commenting and stuff, so I was like, let me go ahead and get that fixed and stuff. So that's why there's just letting you know now. There's not really any new content in this video. It's all really bug fixes. It's just really me going through and fixing a whole bunch of stuff that people pointed out to me and stuff. But yeah, and I do want to go ahead and clarify. I'm aware of the whole thing where like after like 5 to 10 minutes, or not really that long, but like I want to say like 3 to 6 minutes after like having the server up NPC slow down, I'm still trying to figure out a way to figure that out and stuff. But I don't want to sit here for like a week or two trying to figure that out and stuff, and then not give you new content. So I'm gonna continue giving you new content, but I will eventually figure out a fix for that. But in the meantime, I fixed a lot of stuff. Shout out to Pichu and Blocks Counter and stuff, as well as anyone else who pointed out these issues to me and stuff. These are just the two people that I took the screenshots of their comments so that I remember to fix the bugs. But so I fixed the issue, which is from the last video, NPCs still moving after arriving at their platform. Oh, sorry. Well, that's not from the last video, but that was a general issue that everyone, I'm pretty sure you guys were all aware of, where like they would teleport here and then they would like continue like moving to the side and stuff like that. Yeah, so I fixed that, so now no movement at all. I fixed, this is from the last video, fixed NPCs randomly stopping after being bought, fixed walking animations sometimes not playing after being bought. So yeah, so I just made it so the walk animation just never stops and stuff, until obviously they reach the collector, and so, or the platform, sorry, and stuff. Because sometimes when you would buy an NPC, their walk animation would stop playing, then it wouldn't start back. So I changed that. Someone pointed out to me that if you respawn or die or whatnot, the bat doesn't work properly. I fixed that and stuff. Someone pointed out that like NPCs can collide with each other. Now, obviously, in a perfect system to where there's no lag or delays in anything, then this won't really matter. But still, generally, I feel like it's just good to make it so that NPCs cannot collide with each other. So I did that. Steals are actually tracked. I actually forgot to do this when I made the steal video and stuff. So now when you steal NPCs, it'll increase the leader stats for it to keep track of how many steals you currently have. I fixed the bats then, which is an animation inconsistency where like the stun worked perfectly fine where like the player couldn't move and stuff. And yeah, they couldn't move, and like they would lose the NPC they were stealing and stuff, but like the animation was like inconsistent and stuff, or like sometimes it would show them on the graph, sometimes it wouldn't and stuff. And so yeah, and then like I said, steals are, oh, I don't know why I wrote that twice, but yeah, so steals are accounted for and everything. So yeah, so this video is just going over some bug fixes and stuff. Next part, I don't know what the next part will be. Next part, I mean, a lot of people have asked for data saving, so next part might be, I might just go ahead and do data saving, and then look at doing like rebirths soon and stuff like that, because a lot of people want that. So yeah, guys, just want to remind you guys, please be patient and stuff, as I will continue making more videos for this series as long as I continue to show love and support. But please be patient and stuff. I have other things to do aside from the channel and everything. So yeah, but okay, so let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, so first things first, let's go on ahead and open up the core local scripts. We're gonna go all the way down to the bottom. We're going to add some stuff to make the bat work properly and stuff after you respawn. So we're going to create a new variable called bat connection, or well, no, let's just keep the same name as getting bat function. Set it to no by default. You'll say player dot character added connect function in parentheses put character. Yeah, it's character, new character that was recently added. Enter. Then you'll create a variable called new bat, which is equal to player dot backpack dot bat, since a new backpack is created every time the player respawns. And then you'll say if bat function is not equal to, oh my bad, not equal to nil, Then that's the case, we want to disconnect. We're trying to save resources here. Disconnect, right? Then after that, if statement, then we will say bat connection, or sorry, bat function is equal to, make sure you do new bat, and not the old bat. New bat, oh, actually, well, we can save ourselves some time actually here, my bad. So you're gonna go up here, you're gonna just literally grab this entire function right here, the bat that activated function, copy that, go right here, paste that, and then you're simply just gonna say bat function is equal to this, and then just change this to new bat, and then yeah, literally that's it. And then now we can move on to the server script. Okay, so moving on to the server script, the first thing I want to do is, like I said, go ahead and make it so that NPCs cannot collide. So the NPCs cannot collide with each other. So we're just gonna go right here. Just gonna say physics service, same thing, collision group set collidable, and then you're just gonna reference the same group twice. You're gonna say NPCs with NPCs, comma, false, so that they cannot collide with each other, right? Then we're going to move down and make some minor adjustments to the bat m1 function and stuff. So I did want to explain the changes with this. So the reason why this is inconsistent is because obviously when animations are played, they're not always played at like the same exact time. Sometimes they're slow, sometimes they're faster, which is why sometimes animations run faster or slower, and which is why I was giving the inconsistency of sometimes the player would be on the floor, sometimes they would be on so they would stand up and the animation would have finished playing. The way to make this consistent is to use a keyframe. If you don't know what that is, let me show you guys real quick. So if you click avatar, rig builder, insert your rig or whatnot and stuff, right, this is for the animation, because you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna need to open the animation editor. So this is for my animation. Again, I did not make this, I got this from Toolbox. So I have the animation here where you fall and everything, right? So you're gonna need to create a freeze point, which is a keyframe, right? So what you do is you just click any empty part right here, right? Just right click and then just click where is it? Add keyframe here, name it, right? And then the square you'll see right here, you'll see that's your keyframe, and then if you hover over it, it should have the name of the keyframe, and then that's how you'll be able to tell. So I would recommend naming it freeze, because that's what I named it. So name it freeze, right? So again, right click, and then you would just insert, you click add keyframe here, name it, and then you would just move it. So you want to place this keyframe where the animation is, where like the NPC is like on, or not the NPC, sorry, well the rig I guess is on the floor. Like you see how like by this time they're like laying on the floor. You obviously don't want to put it here, because like, yeah, because then it would stop here, like, them like midway through falling on the ground. You want to wait till they're like actually on the ground. And you also don't want to put it at the end, because sometimes the animation, like I said, can play faster than it's supposed to. And stuff depends on how fast it loads and everything. So you want it to be a few seconds before the animation is actually ends. So I believe this is this is 17 seconds. So I made the keyframe about 5 seconds, I believe. That's, if I know how to do math. Yep, I do. Okay. So 5 seconds before the animation ends. So yeah, once you do that, you're gonna have to publish it. And then simply, the great thing is you can just wait, what? Why isn't it giving me the option to? Why is it giving me the option to just? Or why isn't it just giving me the option? That's so weird. And okay, anyway, the point is, so you should say publish to Roblox, and then the great thing is you can just say overwrite, or not say, but click overwrite. It should be in the bottom left of that window. Just click overwrite, and then just overwrite your current animation for it, and then yeah. So that should work, because that's if you want to do it like with what I'm about to do, because this won't work properly if obviously you don't do what I'm about to do, what I just showed you how to do. So yeah. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go after we load the enemy animation track, so, and before we play it. So we're gonna go press enter here, create some space. You're then going to say, let's go ahead and create a variable for this. So we're gonna say local at animation track function is equal to null, and then you'll just say at function is equal to enemy at dot key frame reached, connect function, in parentheses put name, enter, right? You're gonna say if name is equal to whatever you named the keyframe. So I'm just gonna put freeze, because that's what I named it, enter. Then you would move this part right here. So you would copy this, you would paste this right here, right? You would paste that right there. Then it will work, and then it will play regularly, and then it will just wait to listen for that. Then this all remains the same. You're just going to delete. You can delete this part. There's no need to do that, because that's the whole point of this. You can just delete the first wait, right? Um, Then I changed the jump power thing because I forgot most games by default use jump height instead, so we're just gonna change this to jump height, right? So I'm just gonna set it to 0 and then change this to jump height, and then by default I believe it's 7.2, but again you guys can set that to whatever you want it to be. But yeah, so when all that's done, yeah, okay, so once this is done, we can go ahead and just disconnect the AT function when it's done, because by this point in time, yeah, it'll have stopped playing. So yeah, we'll just we'll just do that, and yeah, so we're done with the updates there. Then move down to the NPC move function, right? Again, just trying to save some resources. So you want to go ahead and replace this right here, right? This was causing the animation like issues where like the NPC would sometimes not play their walking animation when they would be purchased. So just replace that with move function disconnect, right? Replace that. Then hold on. If workspace dot checkpoints move connect, yep, else, and then okay, yeah. So then we're gonna go here, right? Enter. Then you're just gonna say if NPC dot parent is equal to workspace, enter, and then you can just copy and paste this. So Control C, delete it, Control V, right? Then just tab over, and then you're gonna say else. Then simply just say move function disconnect. Then after return, right? Boom. So that's simple. Um, yep. Then moving on, we're gonna go down to the to destination function. So for this, there is no need for this stuff anymore. So you can just go ahead and delete that. But like I said, I changed the way the animation track works now and stuff. We're gonna go down here. You do not need this. We're actually going to replace this to stop the animation track since we don't already have it. So delete that. Just enter. We're gonna use a for I loop. We're gonna say for I comma v in I. Wait, there's not already a loop. Okay, just need to make sure there wasn't already a loop. So I pairs. You're just gonna say npc dot humanoid dot animator. And you're gonna say get playing animation tracks. Close parentheses. Enter. Then you'll just say v stop. Right. So boom. You'll do that right there. Then we're gonna skip these three ends. Just gonna skip these three ends. And you're just gonna go right here, use the if statement. You're gonna say if npc dot parent is equal to workspace, enter, right? And then copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, right? Again, if you're confused what this means, npc dot parent is equal to workspace. Keep in mind by default the npc should be parented to the workspace by default. That means if they're parented to the workspace, that means they're currently walking across the carpet right now. If they're not parented to the workspace, that means they're parented to a player's base assigned platform, which means they're currently walking to a player's base or they're already at their base and stuff, right? So then moving on from that, we're gonna go down to the steal function, the steal NPC, and then just gonna go all the way to the bottom, all the very way right here. So to our task.wait, you're gonna go before that, press enter, and just go up here. Then you're just gonna say stealing player dot leader stats dot steals dot value plus equal 1, right? So that it gives +1 each time. Now this was the infamous issue that literally messed up the whole thing and it caused the issues. Was if you guys go down here, you notice right here, I accidentally put NPC instead of NPC model, right? And keep in mind, NPC is for the original reference, inside of the NPC folder, right? That's why it caused issues where after you bought something, everything would just stop working and stuff. Because I referenced the original model instead of the clone we just created. So all you gotta do is just change this to NPC model stuff. In all honesty, it was a very simple mistake that could have been, resolved if people paid attention. But regardless. So from there, then we can go ahead and test to make sure everything works. Let's go ahead and publish our changes to ensure everything is all good. Okay. So let me just make sure. Okay, we're good. Okay. So fixing. Okay. So first things first. I'm drawing. I give myself some money real quick. Okay. So first things first, just generally buying an NPC, right? Boom. Okay, there we go. Yep, there we go. So as you guys can see, I bought the NPC and everything still works perfectly fine. And for some reason, he is in the air, which he shouldn't be in the air, considering the fact that I literally fixed that. But okay, the buying seems to be working just fine. Yep, everything seems to be working good in that regard. The walking animations still seem to be good as well. Why are they like higher? I feel like I forgot. Oh, I know what it was. I think I forgot to delete something. Yep, I know what it is. I forgot something. Hold on, hold on. Um, when you buy the NPC, trying to do something. Hold on. Is it the two destination? It's the two destination. Okay. Inside of the two destination, I must have forgot to do something. 50. This is what it is. Okay. Yeah, this is what it was. Okay. Um. Yeah. Okay. This is what it was. Okay. Right here. So just set this to 1 second instead of 0. Yeah, just set it to like 1 second or maybe 2 seconds and stuff. The whole point is you just want to wait. NPCs can't be moved because players can't interact with them. NPCs can't, but just to be on the safe side. But yeah, just set that to like one or something. I forgot to change that and stuff because that's what was causing them to like freeze midair and stuff because you have to like time it right so that they're like spawning in properly on top of the platform. Okay. So, give myself some money, buy the NPC, okay, both of y'all. Oh, I was going to say. All right, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, there we go. So fix that inconsistency issue. Okay, walk animation. As you guys can see, the walk animations were playing just fine. NPCs cannot collide with each other. I mean, there's not really a way for me to test that. Like, it's not really that important to test. Fix bad stun, inconsistent. Okay. So yeah, so then let's just test this real quick. I'm gonna start up a two-player test server so I can show you guys the bat stun animation consistency should be fixed, as well as steals are being tracked, and fix the bat not working after respawn. So yeah, okay. So as you guys can see, the bat works fine, just fine. However, when I would reset my character, because what someone pointed out to me, the bat would not work. But as you can see, the bat now works even if you respawn. Now walking over to player 2. Right? As you can see, it should be consistent. I might have lied. I'm waiting for the cooldown to be. Oh, there's an error of some kind. All animation is not. What do you mean? Where's my animation? Oh, that's the problem. Where did my animation go? I lost my animation. That's actually crazy. Oh, well, huh. That is so strange. Okay. I don't know where the animation went. Oh, I must have accidentally deleted it before the video. I must have accidentally deleted it before the video. Oh, I must have left that with the other script. Oh, well, that's my bad. Um, hmm. Well, that's my bad, guys. Okay, hold on. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm gonna go retrieve the animation ID for the fall animation and stuff. Everything still works just fine. I just simply forgot to do it. Okay, there we go. And you guys should be back now. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so there we go. Animation. Okay. I swear though, I literally remember before I started recording, I remember literally saying, make sure I don't delete the animation, and then I did it. Okay. Anyway, okay. So now when I walk over, right, because there's no animation issues this time. Okay. There we go. As you can see, I'll do it again once the cooldown's over. There we go. One last time. There we go. Yep. And then you can set the stun to however long you want it to be, of course. Then one last test for the steals count. So set my cash to 1,000. Which one am I? Okay, right here. So player 1, I'm gonna go buy an NPC real quick. I'm gonna have player 2 steal said NPC, right? And then how interesting. How very interesting. That's very interesting. We're just gonna ignore that. That aside. Okay, so I move over and or not move over, switch over, and then wait. Oh wait, I think I know why he's doing that. Oh, never mind. I think I know what's doing that. Anyway, so we steal the NPC, turn back to home base, and oh, where's the spawner? There we go. and my steals increased by 1. So yeah. As for that, I have no idea why. I honestly have no idea why I did that. I love how it didn't do that at all when I was regularly. Like I genuinely, I don't know why I did that. To be honest, I don't know why I did that. I don't know what's going on with this NPC, to be honest. I don't know. But like I said, I'll look into the whole movement stuff. But these are the major bugs that were fixed and stuff like that. So yeah, I fixed a lot of the major bugs and whatnot. As always, if you guys find more bugs, report them, let me know, and I will get them fixed. Just be patient. I will like everything is a work in progress and stuff. If you wanted a perfect system, go watch a different tutorial. Everything is a work in progress. I'll try to make things the best of my ability, but don't expect perfection on the first try. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, let me know any of the bugs you guys find and stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video and expect more content soon. Still Brainrot will be coming out more parts later, but y'all are gonna have to be patient because Grow Garden and Forsaken need some love. So yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Thank you for watching. Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make Still a Brainrot Part 8 and stuff. I have a lot of things that you guys are going to love. Right. First things first, I finally fixed NPC slowing down over time. Big, and I mean absolutely big shout out to Pedro.exe. He's one of my helpers. He gave me a solution which ended up working and stuff. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, over time while the NPCs walk the carpet, they would eventually slow down like their movements, like they would stop at every single checkpoint individually and stuff. They would continuously keep stopping and stuff and like slowing down a lot the longer the server ran and stuff like that. I finally fixed that and everything. Thanks to so shout out to Pedro. Really do appreciate that. I fixed the NPCs freezing in place after being bought as well. I fixed that issue and stuff. Or like sometimes it was honestly a very rare bug to be completely honest. Sometimes you would buy an NPC and then they would just sit there, continue walking in place and not walk to the base. I fixed that. Made it so players are slowed down while stealing, so pretty much changed their walk speed. I fixed not being able to reset your character after being intercepted while trying to steal an NPC. So pretty much if you were trying to steal an NPC, it would disable your reset character button. But let's say, somebody, the person, whoever owns the NPC came and like hit you with their bat or whatnot, right? And stuff. It didn't make it so that you could, reset. Like it didn't like make it so that you could, like set it back to its default setting, which is what I did. Then the last thing I know you guys are gonna love data saving. Data saving. Now I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. This video might genuinely be an hour. Y'all are gonna have to lock in and pay attention. I can already imagine a lot of people's stuff is a lot of people gonna mess this up. So it's a lot of stuff for data saving. Y'all kept begging for this and rebirths and stuff. I'm here to bring it to y'all, but you're gonna see why I was waiting to add it. It's gonna be a lot and stuff, right? Saving the stats is easy, but the NPCs and then the functionality with the NPCs so that the functions carry on. Yeah, we're gonna make a lot of changes. It's gonna be a lot of changes. A lot of copying and pasting, which means you guys are gonna have to pay a lot of attention. So yeah, thank you for all the love and support I'm showing the channel. I really do appreciate it and stuff. And yeah, let me just go ahead and make sure we're good. Okay, we are good. Okay, let's go ahead and get straight into those changes. Okay, first things first, open up the local script. We will be here for literally like a minute max. So you're gonna scroll down, right? You guys see we have the event type for enable reset. Just gonna go right here, just press enter. You're then going to say else if event type is equal to in quotation marks update money, right? Enter. So pretty much since I have now added data saving, right? Um, this means it'll save how much money the player has, right? The problem is that by the time the player loads in the game, it'll have set the value, like their data will have loaded before their player will have loaded, if that kind of makes sense. Like it won't have gotten to this function as of yet and stuff. So this function won't be triggered. So this function will not be triggered and stuff by their cache value being set via the load data. So what we have to do is we have to trigger the remote event. Once data has been loaded, we're going to trigger this remote event to then update the cache. So again, let's just save ourselves some time. You're simply just going to create a variable called amount. So amount is equal to player dot leader stats dot cache dot value. Go down, press enter. Then, as you guys probably assumed, just go right here, copy, paste. Literally, it's gonna be a lot of stuff we're gonna do in this video. Just copying and pasting, and then just changing some things and stuff like that. Okay, so event type is equal to update money, right? Very simple. Then scroll down. A bug. I think this is also no, this was someone else. Someone else pointed this out to me and stuff. Um, that I accidentally forgot right here where we added the new function and stuff for the bat. I forgot to switch out this because it uses the old bat instance and we're supposed to use the new one. So just go right here. So when it gets the animation, I mean, it still was working for me, but it was apparently not working for someone else and stuff. So it was just inconsistent, but it was a problem though. So yeah, so that fixes that. Now, now here's where you guys need to log in. So we're gonna go on, head on over to the server script. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna use a module script, right? I know a lot of y'all are new and stuff like that, so you're gonna have to try to stick with me, right? So click the plus icon on the server script. You're gonna find module script or just type it module script. As you can see, it's definitely very different than your normal local script and server script. This is honestly how I probably should have done things the first time and stuff, but got to it eventually. So just rename it to core module. Pay attention, for some odd reason, a lot of people mess this up. So rename this to core module, right? And then change this to core module, so same name, right? Do not delete this. Do not delete that. Again, for some reason, y'all tend to do that. I don't know why. Just put spaces in between. Everything needs to be encapsulated in between that. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna create a lot of variables, a lot of new variables. So after getting our services, we're gonna get one more service actually. Let's get the data store service, right? DSS is equal to game get service in quotation marks data store service. Okay, so to use data stores, you're gonna have to enable the setting if you haven't already. So click game settings. What am I looking for? Security? Yeah, security. Then you want to click enable studio access to API services, enable studio access to game services such as data stores. Click that, make sure it's green, save, publish, and then yeah, and then you are good to proceed through here and stuff like that. Just let you know, just enabling that does not mean data automatically saves. For someone actually asked me that. I don't know why some people think that, but anyway. Um, so then we're gonna create our data stores for each individual thing, right? So we need 3 data stores. First up, we have our stats data store. So we're gonna say stats data store. Make sure you type everything exactly as I'm typing it. I can already see a lot of people having a ton of issues. Is equal to DSS get data store in quotation marks stats data store, right? Then press enter. So stats covers 3 things. If we scroll down, you guys don't have to, I'm just showing y'all. Stats covers literally that the leader stats. That keeps track of how many steals the player has, rebirths, and cash, right? Then what we're gonna need is we're going to need an owned units data store. So owned units data store is equal to DSS get data store quotation marks owned units data store. Now to explain what this is, owned. So I do want to clarify something because we're going to make one more data store. Owned units data store. This means what you currently have equipped. I probably should have chosen a better name, but it's kind of too late now because I named this owned units and I didn't feel like having to go change that in different places. But yeah, so owned units, this refers to not all the units the player owns. This refers to what they currently have equipped right now and stuff, right? So whichever units they currently have at platforms. Now this next data store, which we're gonna call all owned units, which I hope you guys can tell the difference. All owned units, this actually keeps track of every single unit the player has ever owned, even if they don't currently have one equipped like at a platform right now and stuff, right? And stuff like that. And if you, and as you probably guessed, this is what we're going to use to create an index system, which I will get to because people have access to that. Not in this video, of course, but in a later video. But we're just going ahead and laying the groundwork. So is equal to DSS get data store quotation marks all owned units data store. Make sure those names match because it makes those names make sure those names match because if they don't, we will have problems. Okay, then after creating your data stores, then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to move um, a variable up. So if we scroll down a significant amount, you're going to find the NPC folder, select it, cut, or copy, or just delete, or copy and then delete it. Go up to the top, paste it. We need this at the top now, right? Then you're going to need to create one last variable up here. So it's going to be, of course, for the core module that we just created. So core module is equal to require script dot core module, right? Boom. So from there, we're then going to scroll past this function right here. We're going to then create the load player data function. It's going to be right before the player added function. So we're going to say local function, right? It's going to be called load player data. In parentheses, you're going to put PLR, which is short for the player, comma base, and then obviously the player's base. Press enter, right? we're then first going to create a key. So we're going to say key is equal to player.user_id. So key is pretty much that's what's associated with all that data, right? That chunk of data. That's the key is what's associated with it and stuff, right? So you're saving it by most games save by user ID and stuff. No game really uses player. No game uses like usernames because you can change your username, so you wouldn't want to do that. You'd want to save by user ID because you can't change user IDs and stuff, right? Because like if a player changes their username, at least their data will still be there because it's using their user ID. And for the love of God, do not use display names. That's just horrible. Um, but yeah, so that's going to be our key. Then we're going to set up a protect the call function. We're going to say local success, comma result is equal to pcall function, close parentheses, enter, right? Then we're going to say return special brackets, enter. Then you're going to say stats data store get async key. You're going to put your key and then just do the same thing. Owned units data store get async key. And then lastly, all owned units data store get async key. What this pretty much means is, oh my bad, I forgot the comma. So comma, my bad, I forgot the commas after them. But yeah. So what this means is get async, it pretty much means it's attempting to retrieve the data, right? So if it's unable to retrieve the data, then we will just keep rerunning this function and stuff, assuming the player already has data. Then we'll just skip that end, and then we will say if not success, enter. You will say return false. So if not success, if the attempt to retrieve, so if they have data and the attempt to retrieve said data was not successful, we'll return false, and then we'll try again. So then you'll press enter. Then we're going to create some values for the actual specific data. So create a variable for our stats data. So stats data is equal to result regular bracket 1, right? So that's result. That would be result 1 because that was the first thing we got. So this is why you make sure you do everything exactly as I am typing it, right? Because that's the first thing we did. The second thing is going to be owned units. So we will say owned units data, which is equal to results regular bracket 2. Then we have all owned units data is equal to results regular bracket 3. Remember, owned units is the current units you have equipped at your base right now. All owned units is just a list of every single unit, like the name as well as the rarity of every single unit you've ever owned, right? Then after that, we're going to say player dot owned units clear all children close parentheses. So let's say we try to retrieve wait, actually not thinking about it. No, but yeah, just in case. So let's say we tried to retrieve players' data and stuff, and like we were able to partially retrieve some data, but we weren't able to retrieve like again partially, but not all data. And like let's say this low player data, some of it ran, but then it encountered an error, and then it tried again, and whatnot, right? We want to make sure there are no duplicates of stuff, right? Like if some stuff loaded, but some other stuff didn't load, and then it retried. So yeah, we're just gonna make sure everything is cleared. So we're just gonna say that. Then all owned units clear all children close parentheses, right? Then you can go after that. Then you're going to say if stats data, enter, right? Remember, stats, this covers steals, rebirths, and cash. So from there, you're going to say player dot leader stats dot steals dot value is equal to stats data, and then I saved it in this. Oh my bad, I spelled that wrong. And then I saved it in the same order that we create them. So steals first, rebirths, then cash. And again, make sure you do this in the right order. Regular bracket 1, right? Then for the second thing, player dot leader stats dot rebirths dot value is equal to stats data regular bracket 2 player dot leader stats dot cash dot value is equal to stats data regular bracket 3, right? Then you're gonna go after that if statement, and we're done loading the stats data onto the next thing, which will be all owned units data, which the first two are obviously very simple. The third one is the where things get tricky. If all owned units data, make sure you're referencing the right variable, press enter. Then we're going to need a for loop for this. We're going to say for I, comma v in I pairs. Then you're going to say all on units data. That's it. Press enter, right? Then we're going to create a variable for the unit info. So unit info is equal to all on units data regular bracket I. So if you're confused, so what this is pretty much a list of arrays or like tables, right? Which means it's going to encompass information. It's going to have multiple things. Like you got to understand, right? This stats data each individual piece of data in stats data is just a number. It's just a number. That's why we're able to just say dot value is equal to this, dot value is equal to that. It's just a number. But units become very complex because then we need to keep track of multiple values for one piece of data, right? We need the name of the unit as well as the rarity for the all on unit data, right? So that's what this is. So that's what this is. This is a list of arrays, which is pretty much just, it just looks like this, right? We'll get to this in the video. It just looks like this. It's like unit name is equal to name, right? And then rarity is equal to common. Like this is what it looks like essentially. This is essentially what it's just a whole bunch of these inside of this. That's pretty much just all on units data is like a list of like a whole bunch of this. And then unit info is it's all of this encompassed in it. So then we're gonna have to access each individual thing. So first up, we got the unit name. We're gonna retrieve that. Unit name is equal to unit info, regular bracket quotation marks, unit name. So literally just the same thing, right? Then we're gonna get the assigned platform. So assigned, but keep in mind this is just a name. We're gonna actually get the actual like platform like on their base in a second. Is equal to unit info. Wait, I feel like this is. Oh, my bad. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Not assigned platform. Sorry, that's the one after this. Unit rarity. If I know how to spell. Unit rarity is equal to unit info. Regular bracket quotation marks rarity. I figured the only important things for saving it for all time is just, the name of the unit as well as the, how rare it is. Then we're going to create our unit value. So unit is equal to instance.new. It's going to be a string value, right? We're going to say unit dot name is of course equal to unit name, right? Then unit dot value will be equal to unit rarity. And then we're going to parent it to player.all owned units folder, which is what we haven't created as of yet, but we're going to create once we get to the game that players added function. So then we're done with this. Skip the two ends, press enter. Now for the big function. This or for the big statement. This if statement is going to handle when you have NPCs and stuff like this is going to be loading NPCs so that the player previously had stuff. Then let me just double check make sure we're good. Okay. This is going to be NPCs the player previously had. So you're going to say if on units data enter, right? Again, make sure this was all on units data, right? And then make sure this is owned units data. There's a difference, right? So then you're going to say for I comma v in I pairs, right? You're going to say owned units data, press enter. Then same thing we did with the unit info. Create a variable for our unit info, which is equal to own units data, regular bracket I, because I is going to be a number, so it's going to go, because it's going to iterate through however many it is. If it's like, if you have 4 units saved, it'll go, okay, the first one, the second, the third one, the fourth one. So first we'll get the unit name, so unit name is equal to unit info, regular bracket quotation mark, same thing, unit name, right? The next thing is the assigned platform. And again, this is just the name. We're gonna find the actual instance of the platform in a second, but this is just the name. So we're just gonna say assigned platform is equal to unit. So whatever platform you had it at, unit info, regular bracket quotation marks, assigned platform, right? Then after that, the money. So this is how much money the NPC currently had. So like or NPC had when the player left. Because let's say like you had money left that you didn't collect. So I just want to clarify, this is not earn cash offline. This is just simply if you had money in the sitting in the collector that you did not collect before you left, and it's just gonna make it so that the NPC has that money and stuff. So money is equal to unit info, regular bracket quotation marks, money, right? After that, then you're going to create a variable for the specific NPC folder. So specific NPC folder is equal to NPC folder, regular bracket. And then you're just going to throw in the unit name, right? Then from there, you're going to create the unit value. So we can really just copy and paste this, save ourselves time. I just want to clarify, this is different than this though. But yeah, so just copy this, paste it, then just change some things. So this is going to be changed to assigned platform because remember, so this is going under owned units because this is your current owned unit. So then the value will be the unit name. So it changes because the name is oh my bad because this yeah because the name is going to be the assigned platform. The value would be the unit name, and then this is going to very important. Make sure you do this. This is going to owned units because this is what you currently have equipped. Then we're going to say assigned platform is equal to base, the player's base, regular bracket, and then you're just going to say assigned platform, which is the specific name. So it'll just go through the base and say, okay, so it's platform 1 or it's platform 2. Then we're going to clone over the NPC. So we're going to say NPC is equal to specific NPC folder dot rig clone close parentheses enter. Then we're just going to say NPC dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt wait proximity prompt dot enabled is at the false, right? Then after that, here's really where, like, the copying and pasting comes into play. We're just going to be copying some stuff. Okay, so we're going to be jumping around the script. I'm not going to lie to you. We are going to be jumping around the script. I don't want to close. It would be so much easier if I just close these functions, but I don't want to. I'm worried I'll forget something. So we're going to just scroll down to right here, the spawn NPC. You're going to copy and paste a good chunk of this stuff. I want to say, yeah, okay, so look, we're at the spawn NPC function, right? Pay attention. We're gonna get everything from formatted price down to here, down to the for loop, right? Copy, and then, oh, I'm actually gonna come back to this stuff to show the change. Y'all aren't even gonna believe how simple it was to fix this issue. It's actually insane. Anyway, so then go back to where we just were after we copied it. We're gonna paste, and then I'm just gonna need to check, make sure everything looks right. Specific, yep. Okay, so then obviously it's called NPC over here, so you're just gonna just change that to NPC, then just Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, and Control V, right? So this all remains the same. Specific NPC full, yep. Formatted, specific, yep. Rarity, money per second, yep. That all that remains the same. Um, and then this, we're gonna have to push this down some more because since the NPC has not been parented yet, you cannot set network ownership, which y'all don't know what that is, but we're gonna get to that in a second. So then from there, we're then going to just put some space. We're gonna say assigned platform dot current unit dot value. We're gonna update that, of course, to the NPC's NPC name dot value, so it updates that. Then we're gonna say assigned platform dot collector GUI dot collect. I don't know why I keep doing that. Collect text label dot text is equal to in quotation marks collect, right? Then I'm gonna say npc dot status dot value will be set to active so that it can start making money. Then you're gonna say npc dot money dot value. We're gonna update it with whatever the money value was, so whatever leftover money they had. Then you're gonna say npc dot humanoid root parts dot proximity prompt dot action text is equal to steal, right? And then obviously we'll change this for the specific player. Then you're gonna do the whole pivot. I'm definitely not gonna write that down from scratch. So we're just gonna scroll down. We're looking for the nearest pivot. The nearest pivot to, let's see. If we scroll up, let's see. Right here. Okay. Boom. So just copy that. Get that from the, what is that? I think that's a steal. Yep, steal NPC. So then we'll go all the way back up, right? And I promise data loading is actually, this would be the longest function and stuff we add and stuff. Saving is actually is a lot simpler stuff, right? After that, then you could just paste, right? And that's the same thing because we're just setting a C frame and everything. So pivot to, then you're gonna say npc dot parent equal to assigned platform, right? Um, yep. Then from there, we're then going to say core event fire client singular player, comma, quotation marks, NPC, comma, quotation marks, sell, comma, send over the specific NPC, right? So that it'll say sell for the player who owns that NPC. Then we're going to set up some functions. We're going to say task.spawn function, close parentheses. Oh, wait, my bad. Task.spawn function, close parentheses, enter, right? Then we're going to call these functions that ironically don't exist as of yet. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I get to the core module, so I'm just gonna, we're just gonna wait for this. Okay, so task.spawn, what this means is it's similar to task.delay, It's pretty much means it's gonna call the function, but it's not gonna halt, right? Because if we were to just call the regular, like, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna add functions onto this core module. We're gonna transfer some functions over here, right? If we were to call that function, what it would do is it would halt the rest of the code afterwards and just run that one function. So it would be like stuck on like the collect money function. Task.spawn allows us to run functions concurrently. Like it'll run the function and then it'll continue with everything else we need to do. So then we're going to say core module. It doesn't exist as of yet, but we are going to add this. So make sure you type this correctly. So npc prompt, or wait, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. Generate money, right? And you guys should know this already. So generate money, you're sending over the specific npc folder, comma, the npc, as well as the assigned platform, right? And then thankfully this doesn't give us any errors, so I won't throw anybody off. But yeah. So generate money, then you can really just copy and paste this, select it, Control plus C, go after Control plus V, then we're just doing the same thing. This is going to be NPC prompt. What this is this very similar to the spawn NPC thing. So this is NPC prompt, which is what we're going to create. It's literally this when you go. So when we go all, if we scroll all the way down to when we spawn an NPC, it's literally this. It's this. It's just this prompt stuff because we don't need any of this. We don't need any of this top stuff from the spawn NPC. It's just like half of the spawn NPC function. So yeah. So we're going to call it NPC prompt function, which only requires us to send over the specific NPC folder and the NPC itself. So we don't need the assigned platform. Then after that, yep, we do the collision groups. And then here comes the fix to the problem that was causing the delay, the NPCs to slow down. So you're going to say v colon, you're going to say set network owner, in parentheses put nil. That's what it was. This is what caused the problem. It had all the parts and stuff like that, pretty much set to where it was literally, it was literally like everything was owned by the. I just learned about this. It was literally owned by the player and stuff because they were close to it, so it was causing them to slow down. But yeah, so now we make it owned by the server, and then you're gonna change this to get descendants. This is so that it just gets everything. It just gets like every single part. So descendants, yep, gets every single part and stuff, even if it's not directly a direct child. Then you're gonna skip two ends, and then you're gonna set up a task.delay one comma, and then this is just our regular function. So function close parentheses enter, and then this is just making it so the NPC's humanoid root part is anchored. Humanoid root part that anchored is equal to true, right? You're gonna skip three ends, then you're gonna fire the remote event, core events, fire. This is what I was talking about. Fire client, the specific player, comma, quotation marks, update money. This is the update money function, right? So it updates. This is the literally the only reason we need this is simply just so that it updates the UI. So you can set the default text for the UI to whatever you want it to be. You can set it to nothing. It doesn't matter. This will ensure that it updates nonetheless. Then lastly, most important thing, return true. The fact that we made it this far means that data was retrieved successfully and loaded. Okay, so we're done with that. Now moving on here. Few things. You're gonna go right here, press enter, enter again, then go right here, create a variable for our base. You're gonna say base is set to nil by default. You're gonna go down here, press enter. You're gonna say base is equal to v. As you know, this is how we figure out what bases are open, and then you could just change the v to base, and then just change this to base as well. Right, boom, boom. Then from there we will scroll down, right, and then now onto the folder I was talking about. You can really just copy and paste the codedown folder. So copy, go after status, press enter, paste. This is going to be our all owned units folder, right? So Control C, Control V, Control V, and Control V. This is going to store every single unit you've ever purchased and stuff, right? You've ever had, right? Then after the um player.character added function, right? You're gonna go, so you're gonna skip this end right here, press enter, right? Then we are going to set up the loaded data. So we're gonna say loaded data. It's gonna try to attempt to load data. So load player data. Send over the player. Oh my bad. My bad. I don't know what I was doing. Send over the player. Send over the base. Right. Then you're gonna use a while loop. You're gonna say while not loaded data, which pretty much means if it's set to false, enter. Then we'll just wait. Task.wait. Put however long you want. I'm just gonna put 3 seconds. Then you will try again. You will just say loaded data is equal to load player data, and then just send over the player and base. So we'll just try again. Stuff. Right. So boom, right? And then just like that, we have successfully finished loading player data, right? Now it comes time to actually save player data. So before the player removing function and after the data loading, let me just make sure. Okay, we're good. See, we're already 30 minutes in. So we're going to create a function for saving data. So local function is equal to save player data, right? Parentheses put PLR, which is for the player. Enter, same thing. Create our key, which is for the player's user ID, right? Then this time, we're gonna set up our stats data table. This is the stuff we're gonna be saving. So stats data table. This is just our regular stats. So it's equal to special brackets. Press enter. Then you're just gonna say player dot leader stats dot steals. Oh my bad. Dot steals dot value, comma player dot leader stats dot rebirths dot value, comma player dot leader stats dot cache dot value. And I just want to let y'all know, y'all wanted data saving, so I don't want to hear no complaints about how long this is. Y'all wanted data saving. So then we're gonna go after the data table. Then we're gonna set up the all owned unit stuff. We're gonna get every unit the player currently owns and stuff like that. So all owned units. Wait, I just realized, what if I call that data table and then call this table? It doesn't really matter. Table is equal to special brackets, right? Then you're going to go afterwards, you're going to use the for loop. So for I comma v in I pairs, you're going to say player dot all owned units get children, close parentheses, enter. Then you're going to say table dot insert all owned units table, comma, special brackets, press enter, right? Then you're gonna say regular bracket quotation marks units name, right? This is literally, you should be starting to put the pieces together from our data loading stuff. So is equal to v dot name, so the name of the unit, comma, and then set up the rarity, which is equal to v dot value, right? Boom. Then you're gonna skip that end, right? Then you're gonna set up the owned unit. Oh my bad. You're gonna set up the owned units table. So create a variable for our owned units table, equal to special brackets, right? Then you're going to I believe this is where I actually copy and paste. Yep, this is where I copy and pasted this stuff. So okay, we're gonna bring over all of this stuff from the player.remove function. So we can literally just take all of this. You're gonna take everything except for the player.status.value change. So just take all of that, cut, or copy then delete, paste, go back here, paste. So base is equal to nil, to base is equal to v, blah blah blah, that. So we'll say if base, then find a platform, right? Then all of that remains the same. Then what we'll do is we will go after this, right? If we can find a rig, we will say rig is equal to platform dot rig, right? And then we can just go ahead and just delete this right here, and then just delete this right here as well, since we now have a rig variable. We have a direct reference. So rig, right? And then we change the status, just like normal. Then after that, we're going to add all the necessary information. So table dot insert. Then you're gonna say owned units table, comma, special brackets, enter, right? You're gonna say regular bracket quotation marks unit name, right? You're gonna say is equal to rig dot npc name dot value, comma, regular bracket quotation marks assigned platform. Remember, this is just the name. You cannot save instances. So it's equal to platform dot name, right? Comma, quotation, and then regular bracket quotation marks money is equal to rig dot money dot value, right? Then we have our task dot wait, and then we destroy the rig, and then yep, that all looks good. Then after this, we go down here. Yep, and then that's good as well. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna skip these two ends right here after we do the whole unlock base stuff, right? Yeah, after we do the whole unlock stuff, then we're gonna say local success, comma er, which is short for error, is oh my bad, err, short for error, is equal to pcal function, close parentheses, press enter. Then you would attempt to save data. Stats data store, you would say set async key, make sure it's the right data table, stats data table, right? Then all owned units data store, set async key, all owned units data table or table. And then lastly, we have our owned units data store, set async key, owned units table, right? Then boom, make sure everything matches, and yep. Okay, then right here, go after the end, and for the last thing, you're just gonna say return success, comma, ER, right? ER, well, I should say. Okay, and then just like that, we are done with that function. We're gonna go here. All we're gonna just simply say is local success, comma, ER, so same thing, is equal to save player data, send over the player, right? Then you're gonna simply same thing while not success, enter task dot wait, put however much time you want. I'm gonna say 3 seconds. Then you're just gonna say success, comma, ER is equal to, and then you're gonna call the function again, save player data, send over the player, right? And then status dot value would just be set to left and stuff once we're done saving data. Okay, and just like that, we have successfully finished data saving, data loading, and yeah. So then we are going to move down, move down, move down, move down. We're going to not there. We're gonna move yeah, just go in order. Actually, yeah, it just makes more sense to go in order. Actually, yeah. So we're gonna scroll all the way down to our steal NPC function. Boom, okay, and then I'm just making sure everything is good, guys, because yeah, I need this to be great first time. Okay, so steal NPC, so some minor changes here. So after we make all the stuff for the head visible, you're just gonna say stealing character dot humanoid dot walk speed, and you can set this to whatever you want. So I'm gonna set this to 16 because keep in mind this means that they were intercepted, so we're just resetting their walk speed back to what it normally is, right? And then this is gonna change. So the generate money function exists right now on the script, but it's not going to exist after we're done. So we're just gonna change, or at least let me rephrase that. It's not gonna exist on the server script. It's gonna be on the module script. So you're just gonna say core module dot generate money. So literally the same thing, or you could just add the core module dot beforehand, right? Then you're gonna go right here. Then you'll just say stealing, my bad, stealing character dot humanoid dot walk speed, and you can set this to whatever you want it to be. I'm gonna just set it to 8. I'm gonna just cut it in half for me and stuff, right? So that it slows down the players while they're trying to steal an NPC. Then you're gonna go. I think it's right here. Oh wait, no, wait, color dot new. Wait, I'm confused. I think I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh yeah, we go down here. Yep, this is what it is. Okay, so yep, go down here. Right, once they've successfully stolen the NPC, then it'll just say stealing character dot humanoid dot walk speed is set back to whatever your default is for your game. I'm gonna say 16. Then I'm also going to fire their mode event core event fire client stealing player comma fish marks enable reset. Right, so they can reset. Those are those little bug fixes I was talking about, and just like that we are done with the changes. We're gonna make some changes to the initial functions, and then we're gonna move on to moving them over to the module script. So then we go down to the spawn NPC function, right? Um, so this, I mean, you guys already noticed we did the same thing up there and stuff, right? So we're just changing this, right? So get descendants. I feel like I spelled that wrong. Descendants. Oh no, that's right. And then simply just do the v set network owner set to no, right? So boom, that. Then scroll down to the prompt function. Um, and then this is simply just going to change. So just going to say core module dot, literally just putting that before. So core module dot by NPC dot sell NPC. Um, and then we go down here. We go down here, same thing, still NPC. Core module dot. This makes it so that we can just call pretty much this way. If you're confused as to why I'm gonna move stuff over, it makes things so much easier and saves us so much time. I would literally have to like we would literally have to like you guys already see we already have like 800 lines of code. I would literally this the entire script would be like 1,000 like 1,200 lines of code if like I were to like copy and paste everything over and over again. Like, it would just be a waste of time and stuff, right? So that, and I think we are, yep, we're officially done with all changes. Now it's just about moving things over. So here's where you really gotta lock in and pay attention. This is really not difficult at all. Like we're like we finished changing and adding stuff. Like all of this stuff, this was the hardest part. We added everything, we changed stuff. Now all it is just adding, or sorry, not adding, is moving stuff over. Okay, so first things first, we need to create some variables. So let's create a variable for the pathfinding service. So PFS is equal to game get service pathfinding service. Then let's create a variable for our core event. So our remote event, so game.replicated storage, wait for child, core event, right? And then lastly, create a variable for the NPC folder, which is equal to game.server storage, wait for child, NPC folder, right? Then we're going to create our first function. First up, generate money, right? So if you don't know, the way functions are created on a module script is very different. You don't do this. You don't do that, right? It's not how we that's not how we yeah, we don't do stuff like that with the module script. The way you do it is you say function, right, and then you're gonna reference whatever you called, whatever you referred, whatever you named it at the top. So we're gonna say core module. It has to match exactly as is. Then you're gonna say dot, and then this is going to be the name of the function. So generate money, right? Then parentheses. So we're just gonna literally go to every single function, and then well, not every single function, but every function we're moving over, we're just gonna go to it, and then just simultaneously just add over everything we need. Okay, so simply just go here, right? Copy that, Control C, Control V. That's what we need inside, right? Go to the end, press Enter, boom, simple, right? Then you're gonna go inside the body, just take everything that's inside the body, so everything between the local function and end, copy and paste. Simple, right? Then you go back here and delete this. We no longer need this here. Delete that, right? Now what this means is we can call this function at any time from this script instead of having to like move the function up or having to change certain. Nope, it makes things a lot easier. Okay, then moving on, we have the cell NPC function, right? So same thing. Just gonna go after that, right? Skip the end. You're gonna say function core module dot cell NPC parentheses, right? So let's find cell NPC right here. Go in the parentheses, and then we'll just copy this stuff. The parameters, Control C, Control V, paste the parameters, go right here, press Enter, right? Go back here, copy and paste the body. Copy the body, just the body, and paste. Simple, right? We're literally just moving stuff over. Delete the original function. That simple, right? And then as you can see, we are having errors popping up and stuff. We are having errors pop up and stuff, but you guys do not have to worry. Do not worry about the errors at this moment in time. I'm going to get to those because what I did was I changed some stuff, and yeah, honestly, I should have just changed everything on this script and then just yeah, and then just moved everything over, but it's fine. So don't worry about the errors right now and stuff. All of this code is going to be moved over and stuff. Well, not all of it, but most of it will be moved over, so it's fine. So the next function is actually the steal NPC function. So bear with me, guys. So skip the end. We're gonna say function core module dot steal NPC. Then you're gonna put your parentheses, copy and paste your parameters, select them, Control plus C, Control plus V. Go to the end, press Enter, right? Then you're just going to take the oh my bad, you're gonna take the body, take everything, just keep going, and you're gonna what the hell, yo, why did it stop? What the hell? Why did it stop? That's weird. You're just gonna take everything, go down, go down. Okay, now look, a lot of people seem to get confused with this, right? You're going right before the last end. You're just going to take everything after this, after the function, and before the last end, right there. It's very simple. Copy and paste, right? That simple. And then, once you're done, we come back here, click this arrow right here, and just backspace. That's simple, right? Then we go back here to the Steal NPC, and I'm going to, because if I go to the Steal NPC, oh yeah, right here. So Steal NPC, I must have forgot to put a breakpoint there. So yeah, so Steal NPC, just go down to the error message right here. Then we just simply got to add the core module. Oh, because yeah, you can call functions like in like that are on this module like on the exact same script. Like it doesn't have to be from a different script. You can call it like while being on the module itself. So yeah, same thing, right? Then after Steal NPC is done, we then actually move on to buy NPC. Okay, so we'll scroll. Where's buy NPC actually? right here, I think. Yep, by NPC. Okay, let's do it. So go after the end, local function, right? Or my bad, not local function, my bad guys. We're gonna say function core module dot by NPC parentheses, right? Let's go. Let's go grab the parameters. Select those my bad. Select those parameters. Control C, Control V, go to the end, press enter, right? Then you're just gonna grab everything inside the entire body, right? So right before the last end, right before the last end, copy, paste, simple, right? Then delete the by NPC function. Boom, right? So then from there, we're gonna go here. And then I added something. Yeah, I did. So we're gonna go after we create this, right? And I'm gonna fix this in a second. So you're gonna say if not, because remember this is when you buy a new unit. You're gonna say if not player my bad, if not player dot all owned units, find first child. In parentheses, you're going to say specific NPC folder dot name, enter. So what this pretty much means is that remember all owned units. This is the folder that keeps track of all units that the player has ever owned. So if it cannot find the name of the NPC folder, which is the name of the NPC, if it can't find it in there, then it's going to create that value because that means oh this is your first time having this unit. And now we're gonna save it so that when you open your index, when I get to making that, it'll be there. Then you can really just copy and paste this. Copy, paste. It'll just be a little different. So you can just rename this to save unit, right? Then just Control C, Control V, Control V, and Control V. This will just simply be a little different. The name will be the specific NPC folder dot name. The value, right? This will be the rarity, like I said. So specific NPC folder dot rarity dot value, right? Then change this obviously to player dot all owned units, right? Simple. Then go down here, and then all you gotta do, go right before the two, core module dot to destination, which we have not created yet. That is the last function we're gonna be creating. But yep. So that's simple. And then yeah. Okay. Or sorry, that is going to be the second to last function we're gonna be creating. Because the next one is the next one is going to be the NPC prompt function. Okay. So skip the two ends, then on to the next one. We're gonna say function core module dot npc prompt. Now this is a custom one, but it's simply just like half. We're just taking half the code from a function and then just adding that on. So for this, we're gonna need the specific npc folder as well as the npc model, right? Then just press enter. Now, where you're gonna get this code from? You're gonna go back to server scripts. You're gonna literally go. Oh, we're right here actually. You're looking for the spawn npc function. You're looking for this stuff, right? You're looking for everything from prompt function, all of this, the entire function you're looking for all of that, right? And we are going to go all the way down to npc model dot destroying. You're going to take all of that. So you're just ignoring the end and the npc move. You do not need that because remember we don't need the move because move is for it walking across the carpet. We already own this npc. All we need is so that like if a player is trying to steal it or if the player who owns it is trying to sell it. So then paste, right? Then boom. Then we already changed this. We did core module dot buy npc, core module dot sell npc. We already did that, and then core module dot steal npc. We already did that. And yeah, I didn't even make changes. I didn't even make any changes. Like I said, a lot of this is really and truly just copying and pasting. It's really just copying and pasting stuff. So then you're gonna go after the end. This will be our last function, the to destination function. Oh, so then you can come back. Okay, do not delete this. Do not delete that. Yeah, no. Keep in mind, this the prompt function is completely different than the spawn NPC function. It does half of this, but keep in mind we need the spawn NPC function. So do not delete this, right? That's the only one you do not delete. So then we're gonna make function core module dot to destination in parentheses, right? So then we're gonna scroll up to our to destination, which is right here, right? So we are simply going to copy and paste our parameters, Control C, Control V, go after it, press enter, right? Again, you're just gonna grab the body, grab everything down to right before that last end. Press copy, right? Then press paste. Come back, right? Click the arrow, select everything, backspace. Get rid of the function, right? We go back over here, right? Then we have to destination. So first, we're just gonna say core module dot to destination right here, right? Then we're gonna scroll down. We have our generate money. Core module dot generate money. That simple. Then this fixes the freezing issue right here. We're just gonna get rid of this if statement. So delete the if, delete and end. Then we'll just select this code, right click, format, and format selection, just so that it's formatted properly. So yep, then move to, and then yep. Okay, so that officially covers everything. Yep, that literally was it. It took us, yep, 49 minutes, like I said, almost like an hour. But honestly, it felt a lot faster, to be completely honest. But yeah, so definitely make sure you publish, and let's go ahead and test to make sure this works. Now, I'm not gonna be testing this because I tested this like 20 times and stuff. And everything. Literally, the only thing I'm gonna test is just data saving. That's just it. Y'all let me know if any of this stuff doesn't work, any bugs, or what's the name? Oh, any bugs or if something just generally isn't working. Okay, so we're gonna press play, right? Let's press play, right? Oh, so actually, you all will notice it actually is working already because you'll notice the default cache is 100. Notice how I spawned in with 387, right? But that's besides the point. Okay, so as you can see, NPCs are spawning just as normal. So let me wait because I cannot afford them. Okay, this one. So I'm gonna buy, right? Gonna walk over here. As you can see, everything is working just as normal, right? Boom. So let's pay attention, right? So I have 187 cash and I have this one NPC. Notice how I now have the all own units folder, right? Which again, now the reason why I have these two values is again because obviously I was testing this like before and stuff like that. Keep track of every unit I like have had like I've ever had. Owned units just keep track of whatever unit I currently have, right? Now the way you want to test data saving and in this the reason you want to test it this specific way is because this takes time. Hold on. The data saving this process, this takes time saving it individually, so you want to test it differently. Like in an actual server, it'll be just fine when you have like multiple players and stuff because like the server will sit around and idle and stuff. Even if like the last player leaves, it'll sit around and idle. But like when you're in studio, you want to test like this. Switch to the server side, open up players, delete your player, right? Okay, so far no error messages. That's great. You'll see disconnect. Just wait a few seconds. Um, press stop, press play. Boom, there you go. As you can see. Money's still the same. We have our NPC. NPC is right where it needs to be and stuff. Went right back to the same platform and everything. I can sell the NPC and it's right back to generating money. So yep, there you go. That is how you make so there you go. There you guys go. That is how you do data saving with still a brain rot. I know a lot of y'all wanted it. I already know it's gonna be a whole bunch of people with a lot of bugs and or not bugs, but like confusion and stuff like that, go to scripting support in my server and stuff. If you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe. Continue showing the series love and support, and I will continue dropping more and more videos. I will try to get to everyone's suggestions. I've seen everything that you guys have already asked for. Rebirths, index system, the events, the shop, all that stuff. I've seen that. I'm getting to everything slowly but surely. Probably gonna do rebirths next. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Yo, what's good with y'all? On today's video, I got how to make still a brain rot. I'm pretty sure this is part 10 to the series and stuff. It's been about 3 weeks since I uploaded new parts of the brain rot series and stuff like that. I just came back from vacation not too long ago and stuff, and I was feeling a little sick and whatnot and stuff. I still am just a little bit and stuff, so bear with me, guys. But of course, I had to hit y'all with some new content. A lot of y'all have been begging and begging and begging. So yeah, I had to hit y'all with a lot of content. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Okay, so as you guys know, just continue showing the series love and support, and you don't have to worry about the series ending. As long as the series get love and support, I will keep adding more and more stuff and everything. So if as long as you see the views and everything is good, y'all got nothing to worry about. That aside, we're getting into the video. Okay, so I did a lot of stuff. Most of the stuff is fixes I fixed a major issue that a lot of people were complaining about, as well as I added something. So I fixed NPCs being able to be stolen after a player leaves. Shout out to everyone who pointed out these issues to me in my comment section and stuff like that. The only reason I shouted out Kodo specifically for this because he DM'd me and stuff, right? And then like I forgot to get these people username. I just screenshotted their message and stuff. I was able to get his user because he DM'd me on Discord, but anyway. So one, fixed NPCs being able to be stolen after a player left. So let's say like if a player left, there would be that little 1 second delay and stuff, where like like it would be delayed before the NPCs were destroyed, so then players would be able to steal them. I fixed that. Updated money. Oh, that's wrong. Not display. Money display for collectors. So the collectors over here, right? When you walk over to collect money from your NPCs and stuff, it'll now like just the same way with the NPC overhead display, as well as the price and stuff like that. It'll display it and here it'll display it like if you have over $1,000, it'll say K. If over a mil, it'll say M, right? I fixed the reset button being displayed after being intercepted while attempting to steal. What that just means is if you try to steal an NPC and then like the owner hits you with their bat and stuff, and everything, your reset button wouldn't re-enable itself. So I fixed that. Fixed being stuck as a thief if the victim leaves during the theft. So pretty much if the victim player left the game while a different player was trying to steal their NPC and stuff, they would pretty much be um stuck as like still like their status would still say stealing. So I fixed that. Fixed players sometimes getting stuck at the ground when trying to steal the NPC. Fixed base being locked but not displaying lasers for players who joined after it was locked. So if player one locks the base and then player two joins the game afterwards, the lock base invisible part wall would make it so that they can't enter the base, but they would not be able to see the actual lasers and stuff. So I fixed that. Fixed the major data saving issue, which everyone obviously knew of and stuff. Realized the problem was the delay. That was the problem. That's what created, especially for you guys who have like, for me, I only have 2 unit slots and stuff like, or sorry, 2 unit platforms, but you guys have like 10 total and stuff like that. So that's why it was pretty much waiting 1 second in between each one, on top of the fact that it had to wait for each individual base instead of if you had multiple players in the game. So I fixed that by just getting rid of the delay between each NPC. So I found an alternative fix for that. This should fix the issue. I tested it and it worked for me and stuff like that. Now, if it's still giving you all that same issue, let me know and then I will find an alternative and stuff. But it seemed to be working just fine for me. Everything seemed to be saving. I tested multiple times in actual game and in studio. And then lastly, I added the index system, and let me just make sure I'm good. Okay. Then I added the index system, which a lot of y'all have. One of y'all been asking for index system, rebirths, and stuff. Rebirth is probably going to be next. But yeah, so the index system, I added that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, so first things first, let's jump straight into mm, let's jump straight into the index system. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna get to these two things in a second. So open up Core GUI. We need to add some new UI elements. So first things first, you're gonna go ahead and insert a text button into the Core GUI. So boom, text button. You're gonna want to rename this text button to index text button. Make sure you're paying attention to naming everything exactly as I'm naming it and stuff. So index text button, bold, color rich text, scale text. By the way, customization properties like this stuff doesn't matter unless I tell you. Then it doesn't matter. Like you guys can set the the colors, the fonts, and all that stuff. That's up to y'all and stuff. It's really the most important thing is really just usually the text and the name. But yeah, so then we'll just set the text to index. Um, we will make the text color, set the text color to white, set the text stroke color to black, set text stroke transparency to 0. Then we will change the size. So we'll change it from 200 to like 120. I think that's good. Like to like 120. We will make the background color a nice dark gray. Set the background transparency to 0.5, right? And then I will move the index button down so it'll be right here. Step to the top, bottom left, I should say, right? Then once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and insert our index frame. So go to Core GUI, plus icon, insert a frame. You're going to want to rename this frame to index frame. Then you're going to want to move this to the middle of the screen. We're going to want to make this like 300 by 300, or actually, no, it's probably going to be like 500 by, wait, that might be 400 by 300 might be sufficient, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's pretty sufficient. Okay, so just put that in the middle of your screen. Same thing. Gonna make it like a dark gray, but not too dark. Then 0.5 background transparency, right? Then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna want to insert a text label, right? Then I'm just gonna leave this in the top left of the screen. You're gonna want to rename this to index text label. This is just gonna be our, our header. So bold text, rich text, scale text, and then you're just gonna set this to index, right? It'll be text color will be set to white, right? And then text stroke transparency will be set to 0. And then we're just gonna set the background transparency for this to 1. And then we want this to be like kind of smaller in like the top left of the screen. So I'm gonna set this to like maybe not 50. Definitely can make this smaller, like 30. And then no, that might be too small. So maybe do like 70, something like that. So index would be in the top left. And then oh, I bet I did not mean to click that. Then after that, you're then gonna want to you could just duplicate the index text label. So select it, duplicate, and then just rename this to current index text label. So this is just gonna tell you like where you currently are, and then just drag this to be right under the index text label, right? And then you're just gonna set this text color to like a dark, so like a kind of like a grayish color, right? And then by default, this text should say all brain rots, because by default, you'll be displaying all the brain rots the player currently owns, right? Then we're gonna go ahead and make our close button. So insert a text button into the index frame. Set the size to 50 by 50. So just scroll down. So just throw 50 right there. Then just rename this to close text button, right? Then we will set the background color to a nice dark red. We will scroll down, bold text, rich text, scale text, set the text to an X, set the text color to be white, scroll down, text stroke transparency will be set to 0, and then I will set the border size to 2, and then we will drag this to be in the top right of our screen. So boom, right there. And stuff. I feel like the button might be a little too, I don't know, maybe just like 40 by 40. That might be a little better. Yeah, it looks better in my opinion. Okay, so in the top right, there's our close text button. Then from there, we're gonna now start adding our frames. So first things first, we're gonna insert a frame into the index frame, right? So boom, you're gonna drag this to like the side right here, so a little space in between. You're simply just gonna just drag this down so make it size like yeah like 200 should be fine, and then like make it like 130, and then just drag this over a little bit, right? So boom, just something like that. You're gonna want to rename this frame to index options frame if you're confused as to what this is. This is pretty much the options on the left side of the index system where it has like the rarities because I'm going by rarities and stuff. If I decide to add mutations, which a lot of y'all have asked me for, then I might change this so that it reflects mutations rather than rarities, or I'll just have both where you can sort by rarities and or mutations. But for now, we're just gonna go with rarities. If you're confused by what I'm talking about, you open up the NPC folder and you open up your NPC, remember we have the rarity. So common, uncommon, rare, whatever you have, right? So yeah. So we go back here, and then you're simply just gonna you're simply gonna want to set the background transparency to 1. You're gonna want to insert a UI grid layout. This is gonna automatically scale everything for us, set its size and everything. So you can just set this to so you can set the cell padding to 5 by 8. Then you can set the cell size to 120 by 50, right? It's automatically going to sort that for us. And then you can go ahead and insert your first text button. So you could just insert the index options frame to insert your first text button, right? Very important. Make sure it matches the name of the rarity. So we're just going to say, so the first one will be common text button, and then very important, make sure the text matches the exact, like make sure it's capital C, everything, like it matches. So I'm gonna go down here to the text, and I'm gonna set the text. Oh my bad, didn't I mean oh actually no, that should be the case. Bold text, rich text, scale the text, and then set the text to common. And then we're just gonna flip this, so white text color, text stroke color will be set to black, and then text stroke transparency will be set to 0. And then we will make the background a nice dark gray, and then to the background transparency to 0.5, so something like that, right? And then from here, we can just duplicate this. So select it and then just control D, or duplicate in tab left. So control plus D, right? And then now keep in mind, I'm just doing 3 because I only have 3 rarities, right? I have common, I have uncommon, and then I have rare. You guys might have more. If you have more, then obviously add more here and stuff, right? Obviously add more here, right? And then let's say like you're running out of room, like they're going down here. I wouldn't understand why you'd have like 8 different rarities, but let's say you did, just adjust the cell size here. All you have to do is click the UI grid layout, just adjust the cell size or cell padding. Just make it so that the Y value is like smaller or something so that they don't take up as much space. That's all you gotta do, just adjust the cell size, play around with that. Okay, moving on. So we're gonna then change this to uncommon text button. Again, make sure it matches the names of your rarities, not just mine. So if you copied what I did, then obviously you're good. So if you've been copying what I've done, then you're good. So then change this to rare text button. Bam. Right. So from there we are done with the index options frame. And then we're good with this. Now we can insert our next frame. This is going to be our units frame. So this is going to be a scrolling frame. So click the plus icon on the index frame. This is going to be a scrolling frame. Just going to drag this like kind of like the middle right here. And then we're just going to set the size like 300. That's not 300. So 300. And probably just move it over. So it's like in the middle, kind of like that. Then I'll set the Y value to like probably 300 as well. Okay, that's a lot more than I asked for. 250, and then 250 should be, or no, let's do like 230, right? And then we're going to want to rename the scrolling frame to units, plural by the way, units frame. This is where obviously your units are going to be. So for this, you're going to want to set the background transparency to a darker gray than the one, again, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going for this. So then 0.5 background transparency, so it stands out. Then I'm going to scroll down to where it's scroll bar, where is it? Yeah, scroll bar image transparency. I'm going to set that to 1, right? Because in Brainrot, they have it's like that where you can't actually see it. But yeah, so then we have that. Now I'm going to go ahead and okay, see, this doesn't actually bother me because I feel like I feel like the units frame is it's too small to be honest. Like I think I'm gonna make this wider. Like maybe I don't know if I can fit. I mean, I'm trying to fit like 350 here, and then yeah. So I'm just do that. Yeah, 350 like right there. Okay, yeah, that looks a lot better in my opinion. Okay, so we have our units frame. That all we gotta do is just insert a UI grid layout into this. Again, it's gonna control the size and scale of everything. So for me, I did cell padding. I did 15, comma 8. Cell size, I did 100 by 100. So just leave it at its default. I did change some things down here and stuff just so that it looks right. Um, so we have behavior, horizontal, zero, sort order, start corner, top left, and then I just change. Actually, no, I think that was actually it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So we're done with the UI. Okay, so we're done with that. And now we can close. Make sure you set the index frame visibility to false, and then good to go. Okay, so now to explain what's going on in replicated storage. So there are two things here, right? We have our unit frame template and then the NPC image folders. So I'm gonna explain this first. So actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have ask you guys to close it. Well, to be fair, y'all can keep it closed because I'm just really just showing y'all something, explaining it to y'all. So the unit frame template. I'm gonna drag and drop this into the index frame, but I meant to drop this into the units frame. So yeah, okay. So you guys see what I'm going for here, right here, right? Now ignore the image. I know the image obviously it doesn't look good. The whole point is it doesn't matter. Whatever I make is just simply for demonstration purposes. You guys are responsible for the quality of your images and stuff like that. It's just for demonstration purposes. That aside. Okay, so what the unit frame template is, it is obviously a frame, right? It is a frame. So if you're wondering how to make this, all you got to do, I'm gonna walk you guys through it. You're just gonna insert a frame into units frame, right? So just insert a frame, rename it to unit frame template. I'm showing you guys all the properties, so all you got to do is just copy and paste. It's very simple. So set the name to unit frame template, right? These are the properties if you want it to look exactly like mine. Like this is the color, background transparency, the sizing. Well, the sizing doesn't matter because it's controlled by the UI grid layout. And same with the position, but you guys see everything, right? Then inside of the unit frame template, make sure you guys are naming everything as as shown, right? The reason why we need this template is because if we tried to script it, it would be too difficult to try to get everything like in the like I'd have to like spend like an hour playing around with like positions to get it to automatically like move everything over. As you can see, we have three labels. We have an image label and then that we need to be in the middle. We have two text labels, one that needs to be in the top left, one needs to be in the top in the bottom right. It's too difficult for me to sit and play around with that for like an hour to figure it out. So it's just simple. It's just a lot simpler if we have a active template, right? So we have our unit image label, right? And then again, so here are the properties and stuff. So insert image label, plus icon, image label, right? And then you're just gonna want to name it to unit. You're gonna name everything unit, and then followed by whatever the property is, and then label. So this is the image label. Those are text labels, right? Then set the background transparency to 1, right? Obviously your image. Don't try to use my image IDs. You have to use your own and stuff. And yeah. So you just want to do that, right? Then for the unit name text label, this is honestly very simple. These are just regular text labels. Again, I'm just going through the properties so you guys can see. Make sure you name them exactly as I've named them. Unit image label, and unit name text label, as well as unit rarity text label, right? And they should all be parented to the unit frame template. You can just insert the frame into the units frame just so that you can see it and make sure everything looks good. And so this is not what it's going to look like for all of them. This is just the template and stuff, and then it'll be changed via the script. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys understand how it'll set the names and stuff and the rarity and everything. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now to explain how the image label is gonna work, right? One, you guys need to get your own images. You have to like uh just look that up, right? Just look that up. But you have to like go on the internet, go to websites or whatever, and you can just save an image of something or just take a screenshot of your. That's what I did. I just took a screenshot of the unit. I just saved it as like a PNG file. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the unit image label, click image, and then you're just gonna click add image, and then you're just gonna click create or whatever. I think it's gonna, yeah, or sorry, choose file, and then you're gonna choose your image file, then click create, and then it'll give you this ID. You need this ID because it's gonna be different for each thing. Very important. So once you get that ID, you're gonna copy that. You're gonna come over here, right? Go to replicated storage, insert a folder, right? Insert a folder, name it NPC image folder, and inside of it, you're gonna have a string value. So plus icon, string value, right? The name of that string value should match the exact name of your NPCs. That value will be the image ID or the image asset ID value, right? And stuff. Now, if you're confused of what I'm talking about, you're gonna go to your image label. You're gonna go down to image, add image, choose file, create image. You're just gonna copy and paste this asset ID right here. So copy that, go over here. Okay, let's see. Which unit is that for? Okay, so it's for Nubini. So then I'm gonna go over here to Nubini. I'm gonna paste it right here. And then boom, as you can see, all these values are different. This is so that it'll be able to tell which image goes with which NPC. It's not that hard. It is very simple. So please, I can imagine a lot of people getting confused on this part and stuff. It's really not that difficult. All you're doing is literally just going on the internet, getting images or taking screenshots, saving them as PNGs, JPEGs, whatever type of image file type, it doesn't matter. And then you're just going to create an image via using the unit image label, and then you're just going to copy that ID and put it here. Remember, this is a string value. Name should match the exact name for the NPC inside of the NPC folder, right? And then the NPC image folder should be inside of replicated storage, right? And then once you're done with that, once you're done with the unit frame template altogether, you guys can simply, you don't have to go with this format, by the way. Like obviously the names and everything has to match, but I'm saying like if you want like the name, like if you want like the name of the unit to be in the top right instead, like you can do that. That's perfectly fine. So once you're done with the template, you're just gonna leave that inside of replicated storage so we can clone that and stuff. The only reason I moved it over to units frame was so that you can see, so that like I recommend keeping it there so that you can see to make sure everything looks good, so that you don't have to keep hitting play, then okay, everything doesn't look like things don't look good, stop, and then you try to like edit things around and you have to keep doing that over and over again. It's just easier like this. So leave the unit frame template as well as the NPC image folder inside of replicated storage. I really hope you understand what I'm saying and stuff. I feel like I'm just, I don't know, I don't think I'm making sense to y'all, but I hope I am. Anyway, so then you're gonna close units frame. We're done with the UI and stuff. God bless. Then we're gonna set visibility to false for the index frame. Then from there, we're going to move on to scripting. Okay, so we're done with UIs and all that stuff and make sure we're good. Now we can move on to actual scripting. Okay, so open up the local script. We'll be here for approximately 5 seconds. So we're going to go right after we set the wall can't collide to true. So remember, this is for if a player's base is currently locked. stuff, we need to make it so that their lasers are visible too. So we'll say for j comma f in I pairs. Then you'll just simply say base dot lasers get children enter. Then you'll just say f dot transparency is equal to 0.5, right? Then once that's done, you're just gonna scroll down a little bit. So it's like right here, right? So I did get this error message like once, but it's not like a serious thing where the human root part hadn't like loaded in yet because this event is obviously fired. You know, if you have like NPC saved with the new data saving and stuff, this event will be fired like upon the player joining. So let's just make sure that the human root part exists. So we're just simply gonna add a wait for child. So wait for child and then humanoid root part just to ensure we don't get no error messages. So humanoid root part. Then you're gonna scroll down, literally all the way to the bottom. We're gonna start adding the new functions and stuff for the index system, right? So first thing first is create a variable for our new units frame template, or sorry, NPC image folder, sorry. So we're gonna say local, actually for both, yeah, we'll just do both. So we'll say NPC image folder. Keep in mind this is different than the NPC folder. So it's equal to game, the replicated storage, wait for child. And then you'll say NPC image folder. Then you'll create a variable for the unit frame template, which is equal to, which same thing, replicated storage, child, unit frame template. Then we'll start setting up our functions. We'll say core GUI dot index text button dot activated connect function, close parentheses, enter. Then you'll say for I comma v in I pairs, and you will say core GUI dot index frame dot units frame get children enter, and then you'll say if v is a frame, then we'll say v destroy if you're confused as to what we just did. So we're just gonna get all the children inside of the units frame, right? Keep in mind this is where all your units are gonna be displayed at. This is so that like it'll clear out all the old ones and stuff like that, so we can then add the new ones, right? And remember, we're gonna have frames. That's the whole point of the unit frame template, right? So we're just gonna destroy those old ones, and we need to check that we need to make sure it's a frame and not the UI grid layout because we don't want to destroy that. Then we're gonna start adding the new stuff. So we're just gonna say for I comma v in I pairs. Then you're going to say player dot all owned units. Remember, that's our folder on the server side that keeps track of all of our, well, not on the server side, but that keeps track of all of our owned units. Then you're going to say get children, enter. Then we're going to create a variable for our unit frame, which is equal to unit frame template. And then it's going to say clone. And then we're just going to set all the properties and stuff. It saves us a lot of time by just doing it like this. So unit frame dot name is equal to v dot name dot dot dot. So keep in mind v dot name for all on units is going to be the name of the unit while the value will be the rarity. So we're just going to say frame. Then we'll say unit frame dot background color 3 is equal. Oh wait, actually this doesn't really matter actually. Now that I think about it, because we already said the background color. So we'll just say unit frame dot unit. Make sure you're referencing unit frame and not unit frame template, because I can already imagine people making that mistake. So then we'll say unit name text label dot text is equal to v dot name, then unit frame dot unit rarity text label dot text is equal to v dot value. Then we'll say unit frame dot unit image label. This is what I was talking about. Dot image is equal to, in quotation marks, you're gonna put rbx asset id colon 2 forward slashes. I think on the outside, and you're gonna say dot dot dot, and then you're gonna say npc image folder regular bracket v dot name, go on the outside, dot value. To explain what's happening, unit frame dot image, remember that's this. You're setting the image. You have to put this before so it searches for this is how you search for asset IDs. We're in Roblox. Then remember our NPC image folder, right? So then it's gonna find the name. Vita name is the name of the unit, so it'll find the name. Then the value is whatever the asset ID is for the image. Then we'll say unit frame dot parent is equal to core GUI dot index frame dot units frame, right? Then go after that, skip the end, and then you will say core GUI dot index frame dot current index text label dot text will be set to all brainrots because we are currently displaying all brainrots the player currently has. Then we'll say core GUI dot index frame dot visible is set to true, right? We'll go after that and we'll set up the close function. So we'll say core GUI dot index frame dot close text button dot activated connect function close parentheses enter. Then you will say core GUI dot index frame dot visible is equal to false. So then we close the frame. Then for the last thing, we'll make it so that you can select certain indexes and stuff. So we'll say for I, comma v and I pairs, and then you will say core GUI dot index frame dot index options frame get children enter. Then you will say if v is a text button, right? Enter. Then you will say v dot activated connect function close parentheses enter. Then you will create a variable for the unit type. You will say unit type. Oh, my bad. I did not do that right. My bad. So go up here and press enter. My bad. So you're going to create a variable for the unit type. So unit type. This is why I said the text isn't very important. Unit type will be equal to v.text. So pretty much it'll just be equal to, common, uncommon, rare in my case, right? Then we'll update the index. So we'll say code you index frame dot current index text label. That text will be set to unit type. That's what we're indexing by. Then we can literally just go up here, save ourselves some time, just copy and paste this part right here. Just copy, come back down here, paste. Remember, we already have IMV, so we need to redo this. We're just gonna use J and F here. So we're gonna say JF. We're gonna say JF, and then right here, very important, very important. Make sure you're changing this JF, and then we can do the same thing down here since these are separate. These loops aren't inside. These for loops aren't inside of each other. Okay, so then you're just gonna find all the V's down here, and then you're just gonna change that to F. And then it's only like 4, I think. And then go right there, and then boom, right? And then all you gotta do now is just simply put an if statement right here. You're just gonna say if f dot value is equal to unit type, enter, and then just copy and paste all the unit frame stuff, or cut, I should say, and then paste it. So boom, just to make sure that you have the, that you're only adding, units of that specific unit type into the frame. And then we're done with the local script. Now we can move on to the server script. Okay, so then you're gonna go ahead and open up the server script service. And then we're just gonna scroll down to the data saving function and stuff. This is where we get rid of the issue that was pretty much causing, because this was causing like delays essentially. So I'm just gonna get rid of this task.wait. 1 second, we don't need this anymore. So I'm just gonna scroll down, delete that. Right, this is inside of the the save player data function. So I'm just gonna remove that. Then from there, you're gonna go onto the core server the core event on server event. This isn't really a bug fix. This is more just a minor mistake. I didn't grammatical error. I didn't realize I spelled direction wrong. I literally never realized that. So just Control C, Control V. I just never realized I did that wrong. I literally just noticed. Okay, so then from here we're gonna go on to the module. So open up the core script, find the core module. Then inside the generate money function, we're gonna set it up to where it sets the money function to like display the money properly just like we do with the other ones. So we're just gonna scroll till I find the whole thingamajig where it's like it does the whole if statement. Okay, actually no, hold on. We're gonna go back to the top, we're gonna go to local script, and then we're just gonna scroll. We're gonna go back and we're gonna scroll down a little bit, and then right here, yeah, right here at the leader stats thing, and then just gonna copy and paste this. Copy, go back to the module script, go to the money function, boom, and then just paste this over this. So Control plus V, go inside the parentheses, put amount, right? And then you're simply just going to change this first line. And you're just going to delete that. And then you're just going to say assign platform dot collector GY dot money text label dot text, right? And then you're just going to copy and paste this for all of them. Boom. And then that all remains the same. So yeah. Then you're gonna go right here. This will fix. This is also part of our. This is other 50% of part of our data saving solution. So just to avoid the error. The reason why I had the delay, the 1 second delay, was to avoid this error. So I'm just gonna say while NPC find first child status, right? And we'll throw an and in between. So I'll do a check for both of those, right? Then boom. Then we can scroll down to our tell NPC function. And then you're gonna once again get rid of this 1 second wait so that there won't be any delay whenever you set a cell an NPC, because everything should work instantaneously now. Then we're gonna go down to the steal NPC function right here. Um we're going to move up the victim player. So scroll down a little and then you'll find the victim player variable. Just cut that, scroll back up, go right after stealing character, press enter, and then just paste, right? And then from there we have respond function and status function. We need a second status function for our victim. So we're just gonna say victim status function because remember status function is our original status function variable is for the thief. So function victim status function will also be set to nil. Then we'll just go down here. All we're gonna do is just simply where it says if spawn function, then we're just gonna copy that. You're just gonna go after that, paste, and then you're just gonna just do same thing with victim status function. So just gonna control C, control V, right? So boom, done with that. And then we're gonna re-enable reset. So you'll go right here, and then you'll say core events, fire client. Then you'll put stealing player, comma, and quotation marks, enable reset, right? Then you're gonna skip the two ends, and then you're gonna set up the victim status function. So we'll say victim status function is equal to victim player dot status. So same thing, dot changed, connect, function, close parentheses, enter. Then you'll say if victim player dot status dot value they left the game, enter. Then you will say stealing character dot humanoid dot walk speed, just set their walk speed back to whatever the default is in your game. Then you'll say stealing player dot status, we reset the status value for them. So status dot value is equal to empty string. And then you'll do the whole if spawn function, so you can just so you can really just copy and paste this part right here. So copy, paste, and then afterwards just disconnect. And then we'll just say core events, fire client, sitting player, comma, and then enable reset. So same thing. And then just disable the status function as well as the victim status function. Disconnect those functions, right? Um, then from there, we're gonna scroll down a little bit. We're gonna go right before this for loop right here, and then you're just gonna say npc dot humanoid dot platform stand dot enabled, or sorry, not dot enabled, platform stand. Then you're just gonna set it equal to true. This prevents the issue of like players getting stuck in the ground and stuff like that. Okay, so we are done. All right, that is great. Okay, so let's go on ahead and publish our stuff. Okay. So, all right, so let's go ahead and let's hit play. Okay, so first things first, right? So as you can see, as you guys can see, everything is clearly working so far because right over here, it's displaying my NPC's money, with the not conversions, the whatever it's called, whatever you call it, the simplifier, whatever you call it. Then if I open up the index, as you can see, it shows all my units and stuff, their rarities, their images, their names, and you can switch between common, uncommon, rare. If you close it out and come back, it'll just bring you back. And then the text label also changes to reflect, you know, um, the specific NPC type. But yeah, so everything should be fixed now. So I'm 100% sure everything else should be fixed. Like in a sense of like everything I had prior to the video should be the stuff I put now. So if there's any issues in that, just means I just did something wrong. But yeah. So as always, let me know if you guys find any more bugs and stuff like that. I'm hoping that I fixed a lot of stuff and everything should be good to go and we can just progress moving on to adding some more content. Definitely want to do reburbs and mutations as a lot of y'all want that. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make still a brain rot. Um, I think this is part 10. I think I'm pretty confident in saying that. Um, Pretty sure that this is part 10 for how to make still a brain rot and stuff. But regardless, so here's what I got for you guys. So please stop asking me if it's still a brain rot over just because I haven't uploaded a new video for it in a few days, or because I uploaded a video for a different series. Please stop asking me the same questions. Like unless you have seen me say the series ending, then yeah, because y'all like just because a few days have passed by doesn't mean that the series is over and stuff. But yeah, y'all keep showing it love and support, and I'll continue the series. So here's what's been done in part 10. So I have fixed NPCs falling over after being stolen or intercepted. This is something someone pointed out to me, and like two other people pointed this out to me as well. Pretty much where you would let's say someone tried to steal an NPC from you, and then you were able to intercept them before they were able to get back to your base. I mean, get back to their base. Or if you stole someone else's NPC and brought it back to your base, it would like fall. It would kind of like fall through the map, or like just be kind of like laying on the ground. So I fixed that. I revamped the index system. Someone pointed out that they left a big comment. It was like a long comment talking about some changes to the index system they wanted and stuff. So I've kind of revamped it and stuff. So that one, it now shows all units in the game and not just the units the player owns. If the player doesn't own the unit, it'll just be grayed out, as well as now it'll sort the units based on rarity. So it'll have sorry, not common. Yeah, common, then uncommon, then rare, as an example for mine. I fixed stolen NPCs not being included in the index system pretty much, where if you stole an NPC, it was not being displayed on the index system. Then I also added something that you guys have asked for a ton. You guys have asked for rebirth and admin commands a lot. This is one of the top two things you guys have asked for a lot. Admin commands, or as I like to call it, admin abuse. So I've added two admin commands as well as like an admin system to where like when a player buys the Game Pass, the admin Game Pass, they are then able to use said admin commands. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and let's make our UI real quick. So we're going to open up Core GUI. We're then going to insert a frame to Core GUI. You can rename this frame to shop. This is going to be our shop, so shop frame. We can then move this to the middle of the screen. For now, we're just going to have admin just to start us off. So we'll make the size like maybe through no maybe like 400. Yeah, we'll do like 400 by I want to say 300 maybe. Yeah, that looks good. So then just gonna do like a dark grayish background color, 0.5 background transparency. Colors don't matter, that's up to you guys, for whatever you want to have. Okay, inside of the index frame I want a close text button, so we could just really open up the index frame and then just find the close text button, and then you can really just copy or control C and then just shop frame, right click, paste into, and then boom, now we have our close text button. Then we can go ahead and duplicate this. So select it, press Control plus D on your keyboard. Then we're going to rename this to our Game Pass text button. For now, this is going to be our only thing you can buy in the shop. I'll add more stuff eventually, but we'll just call this Game Pass text button. And then very important, make sure the text is set to admin. Very important. So admin, right? And then obviously we're gonna make this a lot longer, so make like 100. Yeah, it's like 100 by 40, and then I'll just set the background color to again like a nice dark grayish color, right? Um, it does not need a border, and then the background, yep, that's good. And then I'm just gonna drag this like over to be like kind of over here, kind of thing, kind of like in the top left. Maybe make it a little bit darker, so something like that. Okay, and then actually, on second thought, I do want to give it a border because it just looks kind of weird, to be honest, with that one. That looks a lot better. Okay, so then I'm going to insert a text label. This is just going to be our header, so I'm just going to drag this beneath it. So this is going to be our header, so just rename this text label to shop text label, and then you could just set the type bold text, rich text, scale text, and then set the text to shop. Um, Text color will be white, text stroke transparency will be set to 0. Text stroke color will be black, and then background transparency will be set to 1. And then boom, we are done with our shop. Well, almost done. So close that up. Then shop frame, make sure it is not set to visible, or its visibility setting is set to false, I should say. Then you can find the index text button. We can just duplicate this. Again, select it, then press Control plus D, drag it above it. I'm going to set the background color to like a nice purple because that's I think what it is in the game. Then rename it to shop text button. Then of course update the text, and then just like that we are done. We now have our shop button, and then we're done. Okay. Another change. So like I said, with the index system as I revamped it and stuff to where now it sorts by rarities, we now need to be able to tell what rarity is a unit and stuff. We were able to tell that before because we had the value inside of the player because we only did units the player owned. But now that we're doing all of them, this means inside of your remember replicated storage NPC image folder, right? This now means you need to enter a value into your string value, which is going to be the rarity, right? If you're confused as to why we don't just use the NPC folder for inside of server storage since it has the rarity value, keep in mind server storage items in server storage cannot be accessed by the client. It's to keep things secure, so you're not able to access this folder from the client side, which means we have to rely on stuff inside of replicated storage for this particular situation at least and stuff. So all you gotta do is click the plus icon on your string value, then you're just going to insert another string value, and then just rename it to rarity, right? You could really just honestly copy and paste the values from inside of these folders, and then like the rarity value, and then yeah. So you're just gonna go to this folder, say okay, Nubini Pisanini is common, rarity is common, so I'm just gonna go here, boom, common, right? Then I can just duplicate this, 1, 2. Then I'm just gonna drag this over to the other ones, but then obviously you're gonna have to remember to update them. So Tapa di Ferro, rarity, uncommon. So uncommon. Okay, then lastly, Tim Cheese, rarity, rare. Okay, and then obviously for your game, it'll obviously probably be different, assuming you use different rarities. If you might have done legendary and stuff like that. So just fill your stuff accordingly, do your stuff accordingly. This is just how it is for me, with mine. Okay, so then just make sure it's named rarity, so string value, and then you set the rarity. Set an NPC image folder. Then when you're done, that's literally it for that. Then back to scripting. So open up the core local script. We're then going to scroll all the way down. We're going straight to the index changes. So down here, yep. So down here, so instead of saying player to all known units, we want all of the NPCs. So delete that part. Then you're gonna say NPC image folder. I'm not sure if this was already clear, but very important. Make sure for each NPC you have in this folder, you have a corresponding value in here that has like their image and stuff. I just want to make that clear, or else their image just isn't gonna pop up. But I'm pretty sure that was kind of common sense since that's how the whole system works. But anyway, so we have our unit frame, right? So, um, I think so NPC image folder, because this is 163 for IV. We already did that. Okay, so yeah, so we have our unit frame, right? So for the unit name text label, that remains the same. As for the rarity, we're going to this changes. So for the rarity, it's going to be v.rarity dot value, right? That image remains the same. Then here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna press enter right there. Then you're gonna see unit frame dot unit image label. Image transparency is equal to 0.5, right? This is so that the image will be halfway transparent, and then we'll set this transparency to 0, making it no longer transparent if the player owns said unit, right? Then we'll also say unit frame dot unit image label unit, or sorry, image color. So image color 3 is equal to color 3 dot new, and then we're gonna say 0.19 comma 0.19 comma 0.19, which is just like a dark faded out gray kind of thing. Then press enter, put some space in between because we want the parent, we want to parent it at the end of everything. Then we're now going to sort it based on rarity. We're gonna say if v dot rarity that value is equal to common. So obviously here you'd put your rarity, press enter. Here you would put your rarity, different rarities. Again, for me, it's common, uncommon, and rare. For you, it might be different and stuff. The order you're gonna write this in or type this in is the order you want them to like whatever you want to be first. So I'm gonna go common, uncommon, rare, and right. So you would say unit frame dot layout order is set to 0. The higher the number, the lower the number, it'll come first. Like it goes like in numerical order and stuff, right? It goes in numerical order and everything, right? So then enter, then you can just type the word else, then just copy the first line of this statement. So this stuff, Control C, Control plus V, and then you're just gonna change this so uncommon, and then we're just gonna increase it by 1. That simple. 1, then press enter, Control C. So select the Control plus C, Control plus V. Then let's say this is rare. So this is 2. So let's say after this you have legendary, you would just say else if you just again copy and paste, you would just say else if v.rarity.value is equal to legendary. Then unit frame dot layout order is equal to 3. It's that simple and stuff, right? You're just going in numerical order. It's not that hard to understand. Then after this whole if statement, we're gonna go after that. Then we can use another if statement. This is to check if the player actually owns it. That's just what we just did, just sorts it. This is to see if the player owns it. So we're gonna say if player dot all owned units find first child v.name, enter. Then we're gonna say unit value is equal to player dot, my bad, all owned units, find first child v.name, and I just realized I made a mistake right here. It's supposed to be lowercase I. Fine, so find first child, right? Then let me just double check to make sure we are good. Okay, we're good. So boom, so unit value. Then we're gonna say unit frame, because this means the player owns it. So we're gonna say unit frame dot unit image label dot image transparency, set it to 0. Then unit frame dot unit image label dot background color 3, or not back, sorry, not background, image color 3 is equal to color 3 dot new 255 comma 255 comma 255. So just white, right? Then you're gonna skip that end, and then here is where you should have your parent, the line where you parent it, right? So boom, um, and then from there we're done with that. Then now we just need to adjust the code down here for when you want to look at a specific unit. So great news is we can just copy and paste. So you want to copy and paste the entire for loop. So now pay attention, because for some reason people struggle with this. So as you can see, right, this is the index text bundle activated function for our index, right? So we're ignoring the first for loop. We're ignoring the last two lines, right? Just copy, then go down here, and then right here, this for loop. We're just going to replace it. So just click all I did was click the arrow. All I did was just click this arrow right here. But it doesn't really matter. You don't have to do that. So you're just looking for the last two ends. Then you just want to replace it. So paste. Okay, boom. Now obviously, since this is a loop inside of a loop, it's nested, which means we're gonna have to obviously use something different. I mean, we could leave it like this, but it just gets a little confusing to look at. So we're just gonna replace the I and V with J and F, which unfortunately that means we're gonna have to change some things. So we we come down here and we are going to have to, let's see, hold on. So we have unit type, that. Then, okay. So we're gonna add an if statement right here actually. So press enter. Then you're gonna say if f dot rarity dot value is not equal to unit type, enter. Then you're just gonna say continue, which means it'll skip this iteration and go on to the next. So if let's say you're looking for all common units, this the next unit is uncommon. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Boom, skip. It'll go to the next unit, right? That's all that continue means. It just means it skips it and continues on with the loop. It'll just skip it and move on, right? So then from there, we have text is equal to, I literally think everything else is the same. Yeah, I think literally yeah, okay, so yeah, everything else is the same. All you need to do is just replace the V's. Like, look, if I click right here, you see all the V's, it should be highlighted and stuff. Literally, all this means is now you just have to replace all those V's with F's. So we're just gonna do that real quick. And this is very important because if you don't, it's you're using a different instance. You'd be using this instance, so you'd have issues pretty much. So just replace all the V's. So bam, F, F, then F, sit down here, and then right there, and then if we look F, and then if I just control F, control plus F, and then I type V, the letter V, right? And then we click this right here. This means I'm looking specifically for things where I actually, oh wait, because that's match whole word. Um, I'm trying to see actually. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm just looking for the letter V. So as you guys can see, right, we have V's up here, but we don't have any V's down here and stuff, right? Well, we have value. Well, we have the word value, but not like V as a standalone text, as like this up here. So this is how you can check. You would just Control plus F, type the letter V, and then just click this right here. And then as you can see, you should see this, but you shouldn't see any of that over here. Nothing highlighted down here. But yep, so just like that, we are done with that part of the local script. Just a few things now to set up the shop stuff. So we're gonna skip a line, so press enter, then you're gonna say core GUI dot shop text button dot activated connect function, close parentheses, enter, then core GUI dot shop frame dot visible is set to true. Then after that, we're just going to do the opposite. So just copy and paste this function. Select it, copy, go to the next line, paste, then change shop text button to shop frame. So core GUI.shop frame dot close text button, and then just you're going to make it no longer visible. That simple. And then lastly, you're going to say core GUI.shopFrame.GamePass text button.activated connect function, close parentheses, enter. Then you're just going to fire the remote event. You're going to say core events, fire server in quotation marks. You're going to put shop. And then, like I said, we're probably going to have multiple shop events. So for now, we'll just keep this to admin. So we'll just do admin. Now we can move on to the server script. Okay, we'll be here for like 5 seconds. So open up the server script. We're going to need 2 new services. So after the data store service, press enter. Then you're going to say MPS is equal to game get service marketplace service enter. Then create a variable for the run service. So RS is equal to game get service run service, right? And then you're going to scroll down, and now we're going to set up the commands function for like detecting when a player is trying to use a command. So you're looking for the player added function. You're going to go all the way down to the bottom of it after we've loaded the player's data. So then you're going to say player dot chatted, which fires when a player chats an experience using Roblox provided. Pretty much when a player talks in game, not with the microphone through text. Chatted, connect, function. In parentheses, you're going to put message. Enter, right? Then you're going to split up the message, right? So you're going to say, you call this message split. This is our variable. So it's equal to string dot split, and then you're going to say message, and then you're going to, and then comma, and then you're going to split it up by spaces and stuff. Because ideally, what you should say is, your prefix, which is what you say to indicate you're using a command. Then you're going to say jail, for example. Jail would be our command, and then after the space would be the player's username, right? So that's how it should work. So we've split the string. Now we're going to say if number sign message split is greater than 1, which pretty much means you said more than one word based on the string that was split. Because obviously, you could say jail, right? But we're looking for something like this or that or this. Something that indicates that you use the command as well as you included a second word, which is potentially and should be a player's username. And of course, string.find message split regular bracket 1. So we're looking for the first word, right? And then comma and then quotation marks semicolon, right? Or whatever you want your prefix to be. Some people like colon, semicolon, or like just dashes. So it's up to you guys. But yeah. So then semicolon. That's how we'll know that's our prefix. Then we need to use an if statement to make sure that the player has access to admin commands. So we'll run in either or check. We'll say if MPS, which is marketplace service, user owns Game Pass async. Now here is where you need to put the player's user ID. So player.user ID, comma. Then you need to what's the word I'm looking for here? You need to get your Game Pass ID. Now I'm gonna go get my Game Pass ID. I don't believe I'm able to get that through Asset Manager, unfortunately. Yeah, I did think I was able to do that. But yeah, so I'm going to go get that real quick. You guys give me a second and stuff. I'm gonna go get that real quick. If you don't know how to create a Game Pass and stuff, you simply would just go to, I know you guys can't see my screen right now, just give me a second, I'm going to get the Game Pass ID. So if you don't know how to create a Game Pass, simply go to the Roblox website, the regular website, where you go to play games. Look at the top middle of your screen. You should say create, you see the charts, marketplace, create. You're going to type create, right? Then you're going to go down to creations, which is right under home. Look at the top left. And so if you're going to see creations, find whichever place is yours. Hover over it, you'll see 3 dots in the top right of it, and then just click what's the word? View on Roblox, and then you see about. Look at the bottom middle. You should see store, add pass, right? You'll see game passes, and then yeah, and then just follow the instructions to create your game pass. Or if that's not clear enough, then just look up a video on how to create a game pass. It's really not something, or just look it up in general. Like, it's not really anything that I should have to really show you, to be honest. But yeah, so to get your game pass ID, just simply go to the game pass, like on the store page, click on it, and then look in the header, like for when you like the search bar at the top of your screen, and then you'll see roblox.com/game pass/your game pass ID. Obviously you guys cannot use mine, right? And then now you guys should be able to see my screen. Okay. So once you have your Game Pass ID, you're gonna just put paste it here. So Control plus V, paste it right there, Game Pass ID, right? Now I do want to clarify something, right? When you create a Game Pass and you're the owner of the game, it'll automatically add that Game Pass to your inventory, right? So you'll automatically already own it. Second thing, you're not able to test Game Pass ownership in Studio. What that means is this, right? You can test prompting a player to purchase something, right? But I can't like how do I explain this? Actually, no. Let me phrase that. I could I could check to see if the player just bought it, but there's no like it'd just be extra code for no reason, right? Because it would work in an actual game. In an actual game, once you already own the Game Pass, you own it. In Studio, if you prompt someone to purchase a Game Pass in Studio, it gives you like a test version of it. It'll say this is not a real purchase and stuff. It's just a test to ensure that like you're able to like in a real game, a player will be prompted to purchase the Game Pass and stuff, right? So if you test trying to purchase a Game Pass and it doesn't work, that's fine and stuff, right? The way I would suggest you test it is simply you could either just set up a function to detect to handle receipts just for testing because you don't need that in an actual game, at least in this particular situation. Or what you could just do is just simply buy the game, set the price to like 1 Robux and then just buy it and then test it in actual server. But yeah, so we're gonna say or rs run service is studio enter. Now, I do want to clarify what this means. So, what this means is that anyone, regardless of their player username or whatever, will have access to admin commands if they are in Roblox Studio for your place. Now, obviously, the only people who would be in Roblox Studio for your place is you and anyone you give access to, right? This just means admin commands will automatically work for players inside of Studio and stuff, right? So, don't to clarify. So I know testing because I know people are gonna probably be a little confused when they try to test it and stuff and everything, but don't worry, everything works just fine. You can get someone to test it for you to set the Game Pass like 1 Robux and test an actual server if you're concerned. But anyway. I just wanted to explain that 'cause I know people will be confused about that. But anyway, moving on from there, we're then going to say core module. We're going to be using the module. So core module dot admin commands is what we're going to call it. So admin commands in parentheses you're going to send over the player, comma, then the split message. Now we're going to then scroll down and we need to set up the event type for shop. So look for the core event and on server events. Just click this arrow right here to save us some time. Then press enter right here. Then go up, else if event type is equal to shop. Enter, then clarify the shop event, which is equal to arg1. Enter, then if shop event is equal to admin, which means the player is trying to purchase the admin Game Pass. Press enter. Or sorry, wait, if not. Yeah, it's trying to purchase. Yeah, they're trying to purchase that. My bad. So then we're gonna say if not MPS, if not what's going on? If not MPS. Oh yeah, user owns Game Pass async. Then same thing, player dot user ID, comma, control V, paste your Game Pass ID. Put it right here, press enter. Then you'll say NPS prompt game. Make sure you say Game Pass. Then you would just put the player and then their Game Pass ID, right? Or your Game Pass ID, I should say. So this checks to make sure they don't already own it, so that I mean, either way, even if you didn't put this if statement, it would just simply say it would Roblox will automatically detect they already own the Game Pass and stuff. They wouldn't have to buy it a second time, but still, it's just why waste the time in prompting it anyway. Um, but yeah, so now move on to the actual commands. You're then going to open up the server script and then open up the module script. Um, you're going to go down to the steal NPC, which should be yep right up here. Now for those fixes I mentioned, the NPC is falling over and the stolen NPC is not being included in the index system. So you're gonna go right here. So after this pivot to right here, yep, right here. So press enter, then you're just gonna say NPC dot humanoid dot platform stand. You're gonna say is equal to false, right? Then you can really just copy and paste it. So select it, Control plus C, then go down to you see the for loop. So, well, not the first for loop, the second one. So down here, and then after the pivot to, just Control plus V. So paste it right there under the pivot inside of the spawn function, which means um it's been NPC has successfully been stolen, right? So that fixes that issue. And then now we need to fix the NPCs not being stolen NPCs not being included in the database. So down here, so I forgot to add the value for the all owned units. This is just for the unit you currently own in the game, right? Or in that server, I should say. the ones you currently have out in like your base, I should say. So then we can really just copy and paste this value. So copy, then go after it, put a space, then Control plus V or paste it in top left. Then you can just call this, you can just rename this to all unit. This just, all this simply means is that this is for the all on units folder. So this is the value that actually saves and stuff that like is like, okay, this is like, this goes to the folder that has all of the units the player has owned, since they started playing the game. So then just Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. It is still a string value. You're just simply gonna say, you're simply for the name, you can really just copy and paste this part right here. So Control C and then Control V for the name. The value will be the rarity, so you can just say npc folder, regular bracket, then just Control plus V, so to paste that again. And then you're gonna go on the outside, say dot rarity dot value, right? And then you're gonna put all right here, so all on units, and then there you go. So that fixes that issue. Now to add the admin commands, which I know a lot of people have been looking forward to, is if I only have two so far, which is jailed and um jail and tiny. It's just very simple to make. So then you're going to go right before this return core module, but after the last function, then you're going to say function core module dot admin commands. Then you're going to put player and parentheses, comma, message split, right? Then press enter on the outside. Then create a variable for our command. So command should be equal to message split, regular bracket 1, because the command should be the first word you say. So then we'll say if command. So here you're just going to use your if statements, just C commands. If command is equal to, in quotation marks, semicolon, jail, enter, right? Then you're going to get the target player. So target player, which should be the second word. So then you would say message split, regular bracket 2, should be the second word. So then you're going to say if target player. So if target player was found, enter. Then you'll just slow them down or make them not able to walk anymore. So target player dot my bad, dot character dot humanoid dot walk speed is equal to 0. Then target player dot character dot humanoid dot dot walk speed dot jump height is set to 0. And then you can put whatever cooldown you want. Task dot wait. I'm gonna put 2 seconds. You guys can put whatever you want. Then you're just going to copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, and then you just reset this back to whatever your default is. But for my game, I'm just going to put 16 and then 7.8 down here. But it's up to you guys to put whatever you want to put. Go after one end, and then you're going to say else if command is equal to, then you're going to put your second command, colon, semicolon, tiny, enter. And then you would just keep going for other commands. You say else if command is equal to blah, 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 then, and then again with the target player, so you can just really Control C, Control V, go right here. This is a lot more simple. You're just going to say if target player, press enter. Then you're just simply going to say target player dot character, colon. Then you're just going to say scale 2 and then 0.1, and then boom, just like that. I have fixed those 3 issues. If you guys find any more bugs, let me know. Or if this stuff doesn't work, let me know. So let's test the index system as well as the admin commands. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just read the description and find out how to get access to those. Just read the description. But yeah, so we now have the shop buttons. We can open the shop now and stuff. We can open and close the shop. If I click it, you'll see, would you like to buy admin? This is a test purchase. Your account will not be charged. All it literally is just showing you is that it's just a test. It won't work because look, you'll see it just keeps asking me and stuff, right? When you actually buy a Game Pass, it'll a menu like the UI will say, oh, you already own this and stuff, right? So yeah. But the fact is that this is working means you're good. As long as you're seeing that, you're good. So don't worry about that. Now to test the index system and stuff, as you guys can already see, it's already sorted common, uncommon, rare, and stuff. Now let's say now keep in mind it goes based off of the units you currently have in the player all on units folder. But it's also going based off of client side information, right? So what we can do is we can go over to all on units. Let me delete Tim Cheese real quick from all on units, and then now if I reopen the index system, you can see he's now grayed out and stuff, which symbolizes that, which indicates that I don't own Tim Cheese and stuff, right? Then I can switch between common, uncommon, rare, and then somebody brought up about how you don't have there is no all um there was no all Brainrots button. He was saying that you have to like close and reopen the menu. I don't think you guys understand. Y'all can just click the shop button. or sorry, no, my bad, not the shop button, the index button. Like the index button, it'll just reset it. So you just, I don't really see a reason to add an all Brainrots button. You could just click the index button and stuff, which resets it. But yeah, so boom, that's how you guys, that's the revamped index system. Hope you guys enjoy. Now for the admin commands. So again, since we're in studio, it automatically will work. So if I say jail, sp, it's not gonna work and stuff. That should not have worked. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry, guys. I did that wrong. I did that wrong. I forgot something. I forgot something. We're supposed to actually. We never actually searched for the player. This is just the username the player gives. My bad. It's supposed to be game.players find first child. This is in the module script, by the way, where we just were. Then you're gonna put message split regular bracket two. My bad. My bad. We never actually searched for the player. I literally just got the username that was provided. So copy. This is why testing at the end is very important. And then just paste over that, and then okay. Now we're actually searching for the player. Okay. So now if I say JLSP, nothing happens, right? Now if I say jail, and obviously this is case sensitive, like obviously you have to spell it exactly as is. So jail spy 19, I can't walk for 2 seconds, and then it resumes, right? Watch how I'm walking, and then if I say jail spy 19, I can't move for 2 seconds. Now for the tiny, so we'll do tiny tiny spy J19, bam, and now I am a very small midget. I mean, obviously the way your camera's still, like as if you were like a regular sized player, but it gets the job done. Makes you very tiny, very slow, so especially compared to the other NPCs, as you can see. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and a lot of you have been asking for admin commands and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and stuff. It was honestly pretty fun to make and stuff. If you guys find any bugs, as always, just let me know. Let me know what else you guys want to see and stuff like that. I'm enjoying the series. As long as you guys show the series love and support, just then more and more videos will be made and stuff. So you guys don't worry about. So thank you for all love and support you guys been showing on the channel and stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.